Hello there guys and welcome to Sunday's live stream. I'm JWF1 and we are here for the 200 lap race here at the Talladega Superspeedway for round 7 of the season 4-5 IFMC IndyCar Championship. If you didn't see what happened in qualifying yesterday, it was very interesting. In the end, Helio Castroneves took his first ever IndyCar pole position by 0.2 of a second ahead of Simon Pagenaud, who managed to get into second, and Max Chilton, thanks to the use of Slipstream, getting his SIC car into the top 3. Hopefully it's going to be a very interesting 200 laps here at the Talladega Superspeedway, and we have hopefully got a good race in store for you. So before we start then guys, let's mute this, turn this up a little, and let's have a look at the grid for today's race here at Talladega. Here we go then. So, on pole position, it is Helio Castroneves with Simon Pagenaud in second. Max Chilton is in third with Takuma Sato in fourth. Ryan Hunter-Reay lines up in fifth. It is Pietro Fittipaldi who starts sixth. Gary Chavez is seventh with Sebastian Bourdais in eighth position. J.R. Hildebrand starts in 9th, followed by James Hinchcliffe in 10th. Joseph Newgarden is in 11th with Scott Dixon in 12th. Then it is Tony Kanaan in the SIC off the pace of teammate Chilton. He starts 13th with Will Power 14th. Graham Rahal 15th, followed by Robert Wickens in 16th. 17th on the grid goes to Ed Jones, followed by Alexander Rossi, who starts 18th in the Fantai racing car. 19th Juan Pablo Montoya, followed by teammate Felix Rosenquist, the two Red Road racing cars locking out row 10. And on the back row of the grid, it is Marco Andretti 21st, and due to his qualifying ban, Fernando Alonso is 22nd and last. And that is the grid for today's race here at the Talladega Superspeedway. So there is the grid then guys for today's race, and the weather of course is going to be bright and sunny as you can just see now. So leave your predictions, but without further ado, let's get to the race here at Talladega. So here we are then on the grid then. It's Castroneves on the left of your screens, Pagenaud on the right. Who's going to get the lead into the first banking as we wait for the 5 red lights to go out to signify the start of the race here at the Talladega Superspeedway here in Lincoln, Alabama. We wait for the lights to come on. 1 light is on, 2 lights are on, 3 lights are on, 4 lights are on, 5 lights are on. And it is lights out and away we go. Here at Talladega is a good start from Castroneves, who seems to get a better start than Pagenaud does. A good start from Chilton, who's got the jump on Pagenaud. As it comes down towards the first banking, he's already got a slipstream on Helio Castroneves. Into the first banking, can Chilton grab the lead of Castroneves? Into the first banking, side by side they go, and Chilton has the edge. Chilton leads here at Talladega. Sato's got a good start up to third. Hunter-Reay up into 4th place as well. Pagenaud has dropped to 5th at the start. Good start from Bourdais to get up into 7th place. I think everybody has got through the first banking pretty much unscathed. No, they haven't. Kanaan has crashed it down at turn number 1. That is a hefty accident from the Brazilian veteran, and you just caught a glimpse there. I don't know if he rolled the car, if he just got onto it just after he crashed. I don't know if anybody clipped him, but Tony Kanaan is out of the race in the first lap, and we are now down to 21 runners already at the first corner. His teammate though leads the race, but it's got Castroneves and Sato breathing down his neck. Castroneves around the next bank on the right, on the next bank now. Then we go. Castroneves retakes the lead. Sato goes round the outside of Chilton to grab second place, and now in the tow Castroneves as they go down towards the start finish straight. Sato on the inside of Castroneves. Has he taken the lead? Yes, he has. Up into the lead goes Takuma Sato, as now Chilton trying to get back at Castroneves. We predicted that yesterday in qualifying that it could be slipstream galore, and we're already getting it. Sato, Power and Andretti setting fastest laps after fastest laps. Castroneves again looking to the inside of Takuma Sato. Sato covers him off. Chilton trying to look back at Castroneves if he can. Bourdais is taken 5th from Pagenaud as he now hunts down Hunter-Reay for 4th position as they all make their way out of that banking. There's some side-by-side action between a Martini and a Macamo car at this stage as Castroneves again underneath Sato. Has he grabbed the lead? Yes, he has. Castroneves taking the lead as Montoya's in. I wonder if he was the one that clipped Kanaan as he's coming to the pits for a new front wing, I would presume. as Kanan is side by side with Chilton, as Chilton has grabbed the lead. Grabs second, back off Sato. Cashinevas covers off Chilton. Here comes Sato again, trying to grab second. I think he's going to get the move stick. No, Chilton shuts the door. It brings Body. He's now got up to fourth. And the expensive Hunter Ray to close up as well. Hunter Ray having a go. Again gets covered off. Pagano having a go now at Hunter Ray. As down the inside goes Chilton on Helio Cashinevas. And he grabs the lead. First place going again to Max Chilton as he gets in front of Helio Cashinevas. As Sato now fancies a look at the Brazilian, and that's P2 for Takuma Sato. As now Hunter Ray still having to fend off from Pagano at the moment as they go down the straight. Cashinevas again back on Chilton. Into the next banking we go, and Chilton grabs the lead this time again. Can Sato possibly follow through as well through the banking? Yes, he can. Can he find a way through on Helio Cashinevas again? The Fantavi going underneath, and I think that might be the lead again as the pair of them go side by side in towards the start finish straight, and Sato grabs the lead again. So Sato once again taking the lead here at Talladega as he sets the fastest lap in the process. Cashinevas though again not giving up. Back on Sato he goes into the first banking. Hildebrand, the championship leader, now sets the fastest lap of the race as again Sato just able to cover off Cashinevas for the moment. As now they just go around this banking now then on the track. As Pagano's got back in front of Borde, but Borde getting back in front down this straight to grab fourth. Yet again as meantime as Cashinevas looks to the inside of Sato yet again, and Cashinevas retakes the lead again as Chilton also follows through in the SIC as Chilton tries to grab the lead from Cashinevas himself. As now look at the whole gaggle of cars at the front of the field now then. Heading down this straight we go is now Pagano. In fact, unseen by the cameras, got Hunter Ray a little earlier. Grabs fourth from Borde. Can Borde getting back again? Yes, Borde up to fourth as Chilton now grabs the lead again from Helio Cashinevas. So Chilton now back in front. Cashinevas though back on the inside into the first banking. Can he get the move done? Side by side go the pair of them, and Cashinevas grabs the place for P1 as now Borde is now right in the slipstream off to Kumisato for third place. Looks like he's dropping back a bit from the top two. Still trying to grab a glimpse of Chilton's slipstreams. You just saw Newgarden there who just set the fastest lap of the race. Chilton again looking to the inside of Helio Cashinevas into the last banking now then. Can Chilton grab the place? Yes, he can. Chilton in the lead of the race now then as Cashinevas loses the place. Sato trying to close back up if he can, but he's got Borde, the other EMR, breathing down his neck now then, coming off the first the second banking now then on the track. As Chilton looks like he's got enough of a gap to stay in front of Cashinevas at this stage, unless Cashinevas can get a run on him down into the first banking again. But it looks like Chilton's got himself a little bit of breathing room as now Borde and Sato go side by side for third place. Sato grabbing third for the moment, keeping hold of Borde at this stage. Sato though back on the prowl of Helio Cashinevas and trying to grab second from the other EMR. Sato currently in an EMR sandwich at the moment as he goes to the outside. Not quite can Borde take full advantage down this straight now then as the two Silicon Valley racing cars fight it out now then. Hildebrand has got Hunter Ray for sixth place. As now he's trying to get his own teammate. Has Sato on the inside of Cashinevas, and he grabs second place from the Brazilian. And well, now he's back on the prowl of Chilton. Tries to look to the outside. Gets back in the slipstream. Looks to the inside. Can Sato grab the lead again from Max Chilton? Can he grab it? I think he's just got the edge, and Sato yet again taking the lead here at Talladega as the two EMRs trying to get him as Hunter Ray's got back in front of both Silicon Valley racing cars. Hildebrand still stuck behind teammate Pagano at this stage. Chilton underneath Sato yet again for the lead, and Chilton grabs the lead back off Takuma Sato as now they go around the banking now then. For the second time, Sato showing some good pace again on the ovals just like he did at Texas and the ISM Raceway. At Sato again not giving up on the inside of Chilton. Can he grab the lead again from these guys? Cashinevas having to fend off from his own teammate Borde, but Cashinevas using the pair in front slipstream to get back in front. Around the outside he goes on Chilton. He's grabbed second from him. That's a beautiful pass, as is Borde. No, Chilton still in front at the moment as Sato, 3 wide to go I think, because Chilton, Cashinevas and Sato side by side with each other. Chilton grabs the lead. Cashinevas on the outside. He grabs second from Takuma Sato, but Sato getting back underneath him now then. Can he also grab Chilton again into the first banking? Fittipaldi now sets the fastest lap of the race. We can't even get to the fuel without this excitement. Sato grabbing the lead as Borde underneath. Cashinevas grabs first third. Can he grab second from Chilton now then as Sato is in the lead as now as he has grabbed second. Now trying to get Sato on the inside. Has Bode got the place? I think he might actually have. The man who won race 1 at Detroit last weekend. And Bode grabs the lead. So Bode leads here at Talladega. And so the defending champion leads the race at this stage. As now Chilton trying to get back at Sato for second place. Sato also trying to get back at Bode if he can. He's looking to the inside and the exit of the second banking. As now they go side by side. Up towards the first banking, they'll soon go side by side, go the pair of them now, then Bode covers Sato off, as through goes Chilton. Now Chilton trying to attack Bode for the lead of the race, as he now goes to the inside of the corner, into the first banking again, as they now try and look underneath. Bode covers him off at this stage, as Fittipaldi's got up to 5th at the expense of Hunter-Reay, as is Dixon. So 2 cars have already got, both Silicon Valley racing cars who are side by side with each other for 8th place. Pagenaud just has the edge on his teammate for the moment. Chilton though back on the inside of Sebastian Bourdais as Sato goes side by side with Cashin Evans for 3rd, and now Chilton has grabbed the lead back off Sebastian Bourdais, and wow, that's that really. So Chilton in the lead as Cashin Evans has grabbed 3rd place again from Takuma Sato, as now Bourdais trying to get Chilton again for the lead. Just coming off the first banking, we will now go. We'll try and look at the fuel, but a little bit too laggy for us at the moment. But either way, Bourdais on the inside of Max Chilton. We might not even get to the point of looking to the field with all this excitement. Bourdais back in front. Chilton though trying to get in the slipstream. 28.6, 28.7, 24.6, 30.6, 28.7, 28.6, 30.5, 28.6, 26.7, also 26.7, 30.7, 24.6, 26.6, 26.6, and then we have 26.6, 30.5, 28.5, 30.5, 26.6, 28.5, 28.1. And that's that really. Chilton still leading the way at this stage. In the background though, we've got some battles going on. Pietro Fittipaldi fighting with Dixon for 5th place. Dixon just has the edge to hold on to 5th place for the moment. Or does he? Because Hunter-Reay just comes out of nowhere and grabs a pair of them to get back up to 5th. So Hunter-Reay grabbing some places again at this stage. Hildebrand having a fight with Andretti for 9th. So the championship leader having a ding-dong battle as Dixon gets back underneath of Hunter-Reay and gets back up to 5th. He's even close to the back of Takuma Sato for 4th place now then. And I apologise for the drop of frames now. Then as Chilton's now got a bit of a gap in front of Bourdais, but Bourdais still in the slipstream of the SIC, as now they come down towards the first banking again on the racetrack. As he looks to the inside again on Max Chilton, and that's the lead, I think. Yes, it is. Bourdais back in front at this stage of the race, as Fittipaldi and Dixon get in front of Hunter-Reay again. So that's that really. Meantime, Chilton still giving Bourdais in front a little bit of uncomfort at the moment, as Chilton now side by side again with Bourdais. And Chilton, has he grabbed the place again off Sebastian Bourdais? Yes, he has. Chilton back in front at this stage of the race, as they just go around the banking now. They're on the track, but Bourdais still trying to find a way through on him if he can, as now we've got Cashin Evans who's still coming under a bit of threat from Sato. Fittipaldi who's now side by side with Dixon for 5th. Both of them getting close to the back of Sato at this stage. Meantime, Bourdais back on the prow of Max Chilton. Into the first banking we go. Can Bourdais find a way through? Down the inside he goes. Has he grabbed the lead again? Yes, he has. Bourdais back in front of Max Chilton at the moment. And so that's that really at this stage of the race. And we're on lap 12 of 200 then here at Talladega, as now Chilton tries to look to the inside of Sebastian Bourdais again. Has he grabbed the lead from him yet again in this race? Side by side go the pair of them into the second banking. Sorry again for the drop of frames, as through then goes Max Chilton for the lead of the race. As there he goes, through he goes, and that's P1 again for Max Chilton, as Sato has gone ahead of Cashin Evans to get himself back up into 3rd place, as Bourdais again underneath Chilton, and he grabs the lead from him there. So Bourdais back in front of Chilton. A lot of swaps going on in his race. Cashin Evans again on the inside of Takuma Sato, and I think that's going to be 3rd yet again. Yes, it is. Cashin Evans up to 3rd, as Fittipaldi now close to the back of Sato at the moment in this race. Bourdais still leading at the moment in front of Chilton. Heading down towards the second banking, we will soon go on the racetrack. And wow, what an exciting few laps it's been so far here at Talladega. And now into the banking we will now go on the racetrack. And so round we go, around this banking. As Chilton might be starting to lose a bit of time now to Sebastian Bourdais. They might get a little bit of slipstream down this straight as Sato and Castaneras continue their scrap for third place as they go side by side. Castaneras just holding off Sato for the moment. Fittipaldi still unable to take full advantage at this stage. Castaneras now starting to get onto the back of Chilton for second, looking to try and make it an EMR 1-2. Round the banking we go. Sato going to look to the outside if he can. Castaneras covers him off at this stage. Sato still trying to find a way through at this stage of the race. Coming around the banking now, then we go heading down towards the second banking. Sato on the inside of Helio Castaneras, trying to have a look. Looks like Castaneras though is stuck on Chilton's slipstream. Castaneras on the inside of Max Chilton, allowing Bourdais to just stretch away from the pack now. Then Castaneras on the inside, and that's P2 for Helio Castaneras. He is now an EMR 1-2 here at Talladega. So Castaneras gets up into second place. As Sato also takes full advantage, he gets up to third and now trying to grab second from Helio Castaneras. Is this going to be P2 for the Japanese driver? And yes, it is. Up to second goes Takuma Sato in the Fantari car. As now they make their way down towards the first banking on the track. And well, that's that really. Through the banking we go. Around this left-hander as Sato tries to get up towards Bourdais to try and grab the lead from him if he can. Going around this banking now, then we go as Sato might still come under a bit of pressure from Castaneras. Castaneras though a bit too far back to challenge at this point, possibly, as Chilton tries to follow Castaneras' slipstream at this stage. Fittipaldi still unable to take full advantage. Castaneras again in the slipstream as Sato looking to the outside around the banking. Can he get himself alongside? Down this straight we go, then around the outside goes Helio Castaneras on Takuma Sato. I apologise for the drop of frames as now going down this straight as Castaneras got the place. I think he has. No, Sato's still there as they still continue to go side by side with each other into the first banking, and Sato just able to hold on for the present moment. I'm going to switch the internet a bit because it is rapidly dropping at the moment, so expect a little freeze. There we go. We're now on the other side as now Sato still continuing to fend off from Helio Castaneras' EMR at this stage. Sato doing a good job, but all of this is just allowing Bourdais to just stretch his advantage at the front. Castaneras though finds a gap on the inside, and that is second place again for Helio. Chilton trying to follow through around the outside of Takuma Sato, isn't able to do so at this stage. Sato again looking to the inside of Helio Castaneras as they go side by side down this straight. Now they're heading in towards the first banking. Side by side we go. And Sato grabs second place that time by Chilton trying to follow through as we run above him, but Castaneras still following Sato's slipstream, and Chilton just been blocked it seems by the pair of them to try and make a move. Castaneras up to second, they're getting close to the back of Bourdais again, so Bourdais slowly but sorry dropping off back to this group at the moment, so could have his lead come under threat again in this race. Coming off the first banking now, they're heading into the second. We will soon go on the track now, they're heading in towards the second banking on the racetrack as Castaneras too far back as he's got Sato again on the inside, and Sato looks to have re-grabbed second from him again. Yes, he has, and that's P2 for the Japanese driver. Chilton has possibly just fell back now from this scrap for what is now the lead, because Sato is now in Bourdais' slipstream. Heading down the straight we go. Is Sato going to try and grab hold of Bourdais before Castaneras has a chance? Well, Castaneras is actually going to look to the outside. Sato's on the slipstream of Bourdais. He's going to look to the inside of Sebastian Bourdais. Can he grab the lead again into the first banking? Yes, he can. Sato in the lead again. And Sato back in front of Sebastian Bourdais as Castaneras is on the outside of his own teammate now, then trying to grab second from him. But Bourdais looks like he's going to cover him off and hold on to second place for the moment. And Chilton has possibly now just fell back a bit from this scrap in towards the next banking. We will now go on the track around the second banking. Now, because Castaneras has got on the inside of Sebastian Bourdais, and that's second for Helio Castaneras. So into second place goes the Brazilian veteran as he now tries to get in the slipstream of Takuma Sato, but Bourdais back underneath him around this banking. Bourdais trying to re-grab second from his own teammate. Castaneras covers him off. He looks to the outside of Takuma Sato. Sato covers him off. Bourdais takes advantage and gets up to second. Can Bourdais try and grab the lead as well into the first banking? No, Sato holds on for the moment As Borde tries to look to the outside, but Cachaneves trying to look on the inside again. Around this banking we will go. So meantime now then, Borde again on the inside of Takuma Sato, and that's a lead again for Sebastian Borde, getting in front of Takuma Sato. As now in towards the next banking we will now go. Sato looking around the outside we will go. And can Sato find a way through on Sebastian Borde? Unable to do so, so he's going to have to hang back for the moment. As Sato now then trying to look to the outside of Sebastian Borde at the moment. We're 9 minutes away from the 3 o'clock mark for anybody wondering. Sato on the inside of Sebastian Borde. Can he work it out? Cachaneves has now fell back from this battle for the lead, as Sato has got the edge and is retaking the lead from Sebastian Borde. We're now on lap 20 of 200 then here at the Talladega Superspeedway. So we're on lap 20 of the race. So 181 laps to go as Borde's got back underneath him and looking to retake the lead, which he does. Borde back in front of Takuma Sato. Into the second banking we go on the track now then, as Cachaneves is too far back to challenge the pair of them at the moment. Sato again looking to the outside of Borde, in the slipstream he goes. Looking to the inside, can Sato find a way through on Borde again, this time by? And down the inside he goes, and I think he has done, yes he has, so into the lead goes Sato yet again in this race, as they will soon approach the next banking on the track, as Marco Andretti now sets the fastest lap of 48.443 for Marco Andretti in the adrenaline car. I think he's in a fight for 5th place from what I understand. Sato in the lead, but Borde on the outside trying to stick with him around the outside. Can Borde just try and grab the edge on him? Yes he can, beautiful move from the defending champion. Borde back in the lead of the race now then. In fact, he is fighting for the battle for 6th, isn't he, Andretti? But he's too far back to challenge Fittipaldi. He's trying to close up to Sato in front. Around the banking we go. Sato now then trying to get hold of Borde in front of him at the moment, just coming off the bank. And so Sato a little bit too far back to challenge Borde at this stage. So now around this banking we go. So Sato now then into the next loop, into the next banking we go. Around this banking now then we go. So Sato trying to get hold of Borde in front of him at this stage, as they now head down the straight now then, heading in towards the next banking we will soon go on the track. And so now, as you can see, it looks like Sato though a bit too far back to challenge Borde at the moment. He might be starting to fall back a bit. Maybe this battle can possibly calm itself down a little bit now, and just give ourselves a little bit of a breather, as now through that banking we go. Sato's still going to try and see if he can try and get hold of Borde in front of him at the moment, as now around that banking we go. Sato still trying to challenge in front. Meantime, behind them, look at this, Fittipaldi on the back of Max Chilton now then, going to the inside into the first banking. Can he grab 4 from Chilton? And yes he can. Up into 4th place goes Pietro Fittipaldi in the Macamo car now then. So Fittipaldi up to 4th as he just negotiates round this banking now then on the track, heading down the straight. As meantime though, Chilton not giving up. He's going back on the inside of Fittipaldi to retake 4th position. So Chilton gets himself back in front of the moment of Fittipaldi, as Andretti not able to capitalise. In fact, he's got Dixon all over him for company at this stage. Dixon trying to have a look at him for 6th place, but Andretti just able to hold on. Fittipaldi looking to the outside again on Max Chilton. Chilton though doing a good job fending him off, and Chilton's just going to hold on to 4th place for the minute. And it looks like these three have calmed down a bit, so they're just settling into a bit of a rhythm before the first round of pit stops. As Fittipaldi now then on the inside, he goes again on Max Chilton. As now around we go. Has Fittipaldi got the place back? Yes he has, still 4th again for Pietro Fittipaldi in the Macamo car. And so now around the banking we go. As now heading down the straight we go now then, heading towards the next banking on the track. And so now into the second banking. Chilton again on the inside of Pietro Fittipaldi. Is that 4th again? Yes it is. So these two have been swapping places for a little while now in this race, as I accidentally flicked through the wrong cameras there. As the pair of them continue to scrap it out for 4th place. And now just coming off the bank we will go. So now again Fittipaldi fancying a look at Max Chilton, and isn't able to get through at the moment. It's now heading down towards the next banking on the track. It's now he tries to find a way through on Max Chilton, isn't able to go through at the moment. So now around the banking we will go. And so going around the next banking we go. Chilton just covers off Fittipaldi for the moment. As now around the banking we go. As Fittipaldi again trying to have a look at Chilton for 4th. Can he find a way through? I think he has done. Yes, Fittipaldi back in front of Max Chilton. Chilton trying to get back on him though, but it's not quite working out for him at this stage. As we go around the bank. Sparks coming off the back of Fittipaldi's Macamo car at the moment. Right in the view of Max Chilton's SIC. So around the banking we will go. Chilton trying to get alongside of Fittipaldi. Fittipaldi just able to cover him off at the moment. As they will go down the straight in a little bit. Alonso has come out of nowhere. He's up into 6th place. The man who qualified, well, he didn't qualify. He was down in 22nd. He's already up into 6th place. So Fernando Alonso has made a stunning comeback. It must be said, his teammate, where is he at the moment? His teammate's down in 13th. He's lost a lot of places since the start of the race and finds himself in a bit of a squabble. Meantime, there's a squabble in front of Alonso. Chilton again back underneath of Fittipaldi and grabs 4th again from the Brazilian as he tries over to try and close up onto Helio Castroneves in front of him at the moment, but it is becoming a bit of a task at the moment for the SIC driver. So Fittipaldi now then not close enough to get Chilton at the next banking. So he's going to hang tight for the moment as Alonso tries to close in onto this scrap in front of him at the moment. So far Andretti, who's currently behind him, still having to fend off from Scott Dixon at the minute. So here is Sebastian Bourdais continuing to lead the race at the moment. He is now going to start lap 27 of 200 here at Talladega, as we are 2 minutes away from the 3 o'clock mark for anybody wondering. So now we go into the banking on the track. Around the banking we go. Bourdais still continuing to lead the way at the moment. As Bourdais now then. Around he goes in the number 1 EMR. Sato still trying to get back in the slipstream. Meantime, Chilton and Fittipaldi again fighting it out. Fittipaldi has the edge and grabs 4th. Andretti and Rahal have got in front of Fernando Alonso, as will Gabby Chavez. So Alonso starting to drop back himself. That is the thing with oval, slipstream galore is what it is, and people can get themselves caught out in it. You have to be pretty much at the right place at the right time before the end of the race if you want to grab a result. Meantime, at the moment, things have not been kicking off at the top 3. They've been kind of steadying their pace up a bit, possibly just waiting for the first round of pit stops to come about, as Bourdais starts lap 28 of 200 now then here at Talladega, as he just goes around the banking now then on the track, as Bourdais now then still leading the race as he just goes around that first banking. Fittipaldi now then into 4th, and Andretti's also got Chilton, so he's now made a place, and Marco Andretti up into 5th place now then, as now Chavez is on the inside of Chilton. Has he grabbed 6th? I think he has done, yes. Gabby Chavez up to 6th. Rahal now on the back of Chilton. Can he find a way through? Alonso's dropped back a bit now from Graham Rahal. On the inside he goes, and that's P7 for Graham Rahal, so he gets himself in front now of Max Chilton. As Castroneves still continuing to fall back now then from Takuma Sato. We've not even got to the first round of pit stops yet in the race. As now round the left-hander we go, heading in towards the next banking. And so now into the left-hander we go. As meantime, Chilton back underneath of Graham Rahal. Isn't working out for him, as Alonso's got Dixon on the inside of him. So Dixon looking like he's going to grab 9th from Fernando Alonso. And so Sato currently 2nd at the moment. As now we go into the next corners on the racetrack as Chilton's now up into 6th again, as now he goes trying to get underneath of Graham Rahal, who's already overtook Marco Andretti for 5th, and now Chilton on the inside. Can he re-grab 5th place? And yes, he can. Back up to 5th goes Max Chilton as he tries to get hold of Pietro Fittipaldi again in front of him for 4th place. As now look at the train of cars that are starting to form behind at the moment. As Sato now then. As now we've just passed the 3 o'clock mark for anybody wondering. And so now coming down the straight we go. Graham Rahal now then trying to find a way through on Gabby Chavez. Down the inside he goes. Has he got the place done? Yes, he has. Up into 4th place then goes Graham Rahal. As through goes Chilton on Chavez for 6th place. So Graham Rahal has gained a place. Now trying to gain onto Helio Castroneves in front of him as well. So now heading down the straight before approaching the second banking. Well, I'll tell you that because look at this. Fittipaldi back on the inside of Graham Rahal, trying to re-grab 4th, which he does. So back up to 4th place goes Pietro Fittipaldi, and they're both getting close to the back of Helio Castroneves' EMR car, looking to try and grab a podium from the pole sitter if he can. So now, if they can, I should say. Around the corners we go on the track, and Castroneves is actually coming into the pits. Castroneves in for a scheduled stop. So Castroneves is the first man to come into the pits for a scheduled stop. Also joining him, looks like somebody else is behind him in the pit lane. It's Gabby Chavez in the Macamo car. So 2 guys have come into the pits this time by for their pit stops. And let's see where this is going to get them out, as he now pits for his scheduled stop. His first of 2 scheduled stops, and it is an 11.5 second stop for Helio Castroneves. Where is he going to rejoin now then? As Chavez, as mentioned, is also into the pits. Where is Castroneves going to emerge? And looks like, I think there might be, is there 3 people in the pits? No, there isn't. It looks like somebody is a lap down. That would be Montoya, as they come out in 19th and 20th respectively. So that's where they come out, and there is Montoya in fact, a lap down from the rest of the pack. So Castroneves and Chavez rejoin in their positions. Here is Bourdais, not yet to make a stop for possibly another 2 laps. As now Bourdais just going around the banking. There's Sato in 2nd. Rahal has assumed 3rd as a result. Castroneves going into the pits, but Andretti still giving Rahal a bit of concern. As now they come off the first banking. Andretti now on the inside of Graham Rahal. Can he grab the place? And I think he has done. They go side by side down the straight, and he does take 3rd. Chilton also following through. He's also on the inside of Andretti. Can he grab 3rd himself? And yes, he can. Chilton up into 3rd place he goes in the SIC. As Rahal also going around the outside. He grabs 4th from Andretti, possibly using a bit of Chilton slipstream to get himself in front. In fact, Rahal is coming into the pits this lap. For some reason, the AI seem to hover. The AI always seem to hover whenever they're coming into the pits. I do not understand why that is, but 2 cars are coming into the pits this time by Rahal and Andretti. So both of them are coming into the pits this time by, both of them in for a scheduled stop. And let's see where they will emerge then after the pit stop. As there's 3 mechanics out, so Martini getting ready. Looks like Silicon Valley are getting ready for one of their cars. I don't know which one it is. It's either Pagano or Hildebrand. As also in is one of the Target Andy Graham cars. It looks like Joseph Newgarden that's coming to the pits. It looks like his helmet. As who is the Silicon Valley racing car that's behind Graham Rahal? It is JR Hildebrand who's coming to the pits. So they're in for a scheduled stop. Rahal finishes his pit stop, as is Andretti, having to wait for Rahal to go by before he can set off on his way. Where is Rahal going to emerge? As Castroneves, is he going to go through, or is Rahal going to get the jump on him? It's going to be close. Out of the pit lane we go. Where is Castroneves? Look to the right of your screen. And Rahal comes out at quite slow speed, and he's actually got in front of Helio Castroneves. So Rahal has got the jump and gets up into a provisional 3rd place, I would think, after everyone makes their stops. Newgarden rejoins 17th, and now becomes 18th as Chavez. So it goes around the outside of him now then, as Castroneves tries to get back at Rahal in front of him at the moment. There's some more cars in the pits. Robert Wickens, James Hinchcliffe, Juan Pablo Montoya in for a scheduled stop this time. Hinchcliffe into his box. as he's going to finish off his pit stop. As he's now going to come out on the track. I'm pretty sure Borley may be starting to think about a pit stop very soon in this race. As Montoya, who's a lap down, is in for a scheduled stop this time, not an unscheduled one, after the crash with Canaan. Sadly, it wasn't caught on camera, so there's nothing we can do. Whose fault it was. As now out on the track goes Graham Rahal. Sorry, James Hinchcliffe. He rejoins 15th, just behind Rahal and Castaneras, who are fighting it out. Castaneras gets underneath him, and he retakes the place from Rahal. So Castaneras goes up a place. Around the first back is in the pits is race leader Sebastian Bourdais. Bourdais is in for his scheduled stop, and a lot of cars coming in this time by. Scott Dixon is into the pits. Looks like Felix Rosenquist is coming as well. No hold-ups for Sebastian Bourdais, but where are the others as he comes out of the pit lane now then? As also finishing off there is Max Chilton. He had to wait for Bourdais to go down the pit lane. Pagenaud also in as well. Where is Bourdais going to emerge? As we try and look and see where Rahal and Castaneras are. They're just coming around that bank. Bourdais still should be able to be in front, which he is. So Bourdais still in front of those guys. Is Dixon in front? No, Rahal, who has got ahead of Castaneras again, gets in front, and as they are now behind Sebastian Bourdais. So Rahal getting a lot of time in the pits. Sato, I think, he's still yet to make a stop. Yes, he is. He's still out there at the moment, but he's pitting this lap. So Sato coming in for a scheduled stop, as is Fernando Alonso, I think. As we had a look on the onboard there then, as here is Takumi Sato going around the first banking on the track. Fittipaldi in for his scheduled stop. So now let's try and see if we can get to Fittipaldi, who's into the pits. Is Rahal and Castaneras still fight it out, and they get the place there. So Castaneras back up to what will be either a provisional second or third, depending where Sato emerges after his pit stop. As we try and find where Sato is, where what's his name is at the moment. So Sato, as mentioned, is coming in this lap. As he's now just coming around the banking now then on the track, just going around the second banking. As we ride on board with Takuma, he is coming in this lap for his scheduled stop. As the Japanese driver now then going around the banking, as he is now coming into the pits for his scheduled stop. And so now into the box then goes the Japanese driver, as he now goes into pit lane this time by. I do apologise for a little bit of lag on my screen. As Sato now in for a scheduled stop. Also in is Fernando Alonso. So the top two, the temporary top two into the pits. So Sato in. Now this is a crucial stop if he wants to get out in front of Sebastian Bourdais. So this is crucial for the Fantaly mechanics, as they put on a fresh set of tyres and fuel. And it's a 10.8 second stop for the mechanics, as the E-Power guys are serving Fernando Alonso. Where is Sato going to emerge then after the pit stop? As he just goes trundling down pit lane. Where are the rest of the guys? Where is Bourdais now then? And Bourdais is coming up towards them now then. It's going to be close. Can he go around the outside of Sato? As they go side by side, yes, Bourdais back into what will be a provisional lead. Sato will be second, Rahal third, Castaneras fourth, Alonso will be in fifth. He's got James Hinchcliffe though, breathing down his neck as Rahal goes around the outside of Takumi Sato, and he grabs what will be a provisional second place. Once everybody in front of these guys makes a pit stop. Up into second goes Graham Rahal in the Martini, so he's gained a lot in the pits, but Sato not giving up as they go side by side. They've got Castaneras just watching on in the background. Round the banking we go. Sato down the inside. He retakes the place from Rahal. Now then, as they go around the banking, Rossi and Hunter Ray in. Hunter Ray had to wait for Rossi to go down pit lane. They've both finished off their pit stops. They could gain a lot in the pits if they can. As where are they going to emerge? As they trundle down pit lane. Let's see where they rejoin. There's Bourdais there. Those guys going through. Where is Rossi going to emerge? As Dixon is now in front of Hinchcliffe and Alonso. So where are they going to come out? As Hinchcliffe is currently 6th. Rossi is got out in front of Alonso. So he gets 7th place from him there then. So that's P7 for him. as far as he's concerned. Meantime, look at Sato. He's fighting for the lead with Sebastian Bourdais. Down the inside he goes, and Sato has grabbed the lead from Sebastian Bourdais. So that's the lead of the race for Takuma Sato. And so P1 then for the Japanese driver, as Rahal now tries to follow his way through around the outside of Bourdais now. Sato pretty much prevented Rahal from going through, pretty much being a barrier, it must be said, in getting past. Round the banking we go, Bourdais on the inside. Helio Cashinero is trying to get in the switching of Rahal himself. As now Bourdais on the inside, round the banking we go. Can Bourdais grab the pace of Sato again? Yes, Bourdais back in the lead of the race here at the Talladega Superspeedway. As now, around this next banking we will go on the track. As now we go around the section of corners, Rahal and Cashinero looking to continue to fight it out with each other in this race. Round the banking we go. So Cashinero is now then on the inside of Graham Rahal. Can he grab third from Rahal? Down the inside he goes, and yes he has. Up into third goes Helio Cashinero in the EMR. As Sato again on the inside of Bourdais for the lead. Down the inside he goes, and Sato back in the lead of the race here at Talladega. So Sato back in front of the field. As now around the second banking we will go on the racetrack. As Sato tries to get up close to the barriers. Now down the inside again goes Sebastian Bourdais, and that's the lead again for him. So open to the lead again goes Sebastian Bourdais in the EMR. Down the inside will soon go to Takuma Sato. Down the inside he goes, and that's P1 again for Taku. Round the left-hander we go. As meantime, Rahal trying to look around the outside of Helio Cashinero now then, as they'll soon go side by side with each other. Has Rahal got the place? Yes, he has. Up into third goes Graham Rahal in the Martini. As Bourdais will try and look to the inside of Takuma Sato, and that's the lead again for the defending champion. So Bourdais back in front now then of Takuma Sato in this race. Around the banking we go. And so now heading down the straight for approaching the first banking we will soon go. And so around this banking we will go into the first bend. We will now go on the track. So around this banking now then, Sato trying to get up close to the back of Sebastian Bourdais. And so around this banking we go, Bourdais still in front, and now he looks like he stretches his advantage a little bit in front of Takuma Sato. Sato's just a little bit too far back to get himself some slipstream from Sebastian Bourdais' EMR in front. As they go around the banking now then on the track. As Sato tries to grab hold of Bourdais in front of him at the moment, but just appears to be too far back at this stage. Shane Cashinero on Graham Rahal. James Hinchcliffe and Scott Dixon though look to be fighting it out for 5th place, as there are whole trainer cars behind them at the moment, consisting of Pagano in Silicon Valley Race Car, Alexander Rossi, Gabby Chavez, and Fernando Alonso. Joseph Newgarden not that far behind either. As Hinchcliffe now on the inside of Dixon, and that's P5 for James Hinchcliffe. So up into 5th place goes James Hinchcliffe at the moment. And so P5 goes to the mayor of Hinchtown. Meantime, Pagano and Chavez go side by side with each other into the banking. Is this P7 for the young Colombian of Gabby Chavez? And yes, it is. Up into 7th goes Gabby Chavez in the Macamo car. So meantime, here are the leaders still occupying the top 4 places at the moment in this race. Heading down the straight before approaching the next banking, we will soon go on the track. So now in towards this banking, as Cashinero tries to catch up to the guys in front. Around this left-handed banking we will soon go on the racetrack. As now going down the straight, and now they will soon come across the line a little bit now. Then Bourdais still leading the way at the moment in the EMR. The defending champion seems to be carrying some momentum after what has been pretty much a crucial weekend for him in Detroit last weekend. He's still yet to finish an oval race this season, and he's currently leading this race here at Talladega, looking for his 2nd victory of the season. That will really bounce him back in the championship scrap if he's able to do so. Now they just go around the banking as Bourdais now then, as out goes Ryan Hunter-Ray is out of the race. What's happened to him? And there he is. It is an engine failure for IPA. IPA still yet to get both of their cars across the line this season. And, wow. As a result, Ryan Hunter-Reay is out of the race thanks to a blown engine. And we're down to 20 runners here at Talladega. So it's been a while since the retirement of the race, but now we've got one in the form of Ryan Hunter-Reay. He was looking pretty strong, it must be said, but it's all come to nothing. Hunter-Reay out. We're down to 20 runners here at the Talladega Superspeedway. And so here is Sebastian Bourdais still leading the race in front of Takuma Sato at the moment. And so that's that really, as Sato tries to get hold of Bourdais. In front of them now then, round the left-hander. Sato still too far back. Looks like Rahal though is a little bit closer to Sato than what Sato is on Bourdais. So we could have a scrap for second emerging in a bit between these two drivers. As they make their way around the banking now, they're on the track. Round we go. And so now round the left-hander we go. And so now heading down the straight. So now... Here we go now then, Hinchcliffe on the inside of Scott Dixon as he grabs 5th place from James Hinchcliffe. As Gabby Chavez now they're trying to follow through if he can in the Macamo car, but Dixon not giving up on James Hinchcliffe at the moment as they go side by side of each other into the banking. And as Scott Dixon retaking the place, side by side they go. Yes, he has, up into 5th again. Goes Scott Dixon in the Eldorado. Meantime now then, Rahal still trying to chase down Takuma Sato in front of him at the moment, as we are now about to start lap 45 of 200 here at Talladega. So around the banking we go, heading in towards the next banking on the track. Around the left-hander now then we go. And so around we go now then into the banking. As we will soon go down the straight, heading in towards the next banking, we will soon go. It's Rahal now then, just trying to get within the slipstream then of the Fantari. So now, into the next banking, we will now go. Rahal still trying to put Sato under a little bit of pressure if he can in the Martini, but so far still not been able to get within the slipstream yet of the Japanese driver. What about this lap though, because he's got some brilliant traction coming after turn. I think he's now right on the back of Takuma Sato. Can he try and get hold of him now then for second place? He's going to look to the outside of Taku now then, as they will go side by side with each other coming across the line. Sato covers him off and holds on to second place for the moment. Rahal though still not giving in at the moment as he tries to grab second from Taku at the moment. Around this banking we go. Rahal now then trying to grab the place from Sato in front. So now heading down this straight now then, as Rahal now then will look to the inside of Sato again. On the inside he goes. Can Rahal grab the place then off Taku? Into the banking we will go on the track. Around the left-hander. Has he got the place? I think he has. Yes, he has. Up into second place goes Graham Rahal then in the Martini Inertia. So that's P2 for him as far as he's concerned. Heading down the straight before approaching the next banking. Sato still not giving up. Back on the inside he goes on the track, but Rahal covers him off and holds on to second place. Rahal trying to chase down Bourdais in front if he can. As now into the next banking we go. As now through this left-hander again, Rahal deciding to cover him off at the moment. And around the banking we will go on the racetrack. And so now heading down this straight before approaching the next one, as now again Sato on the inside of Graham Rahal. Has he got the place? Yes, he has. Back up into second place then goes Takuma Sato. As again, all of this is just allowing Bourdais to just ease away a little bit from these two. And so around the banking we go. As we will go down the straight now, they're on the track heading in towards the pit straight, as now down the inside again goes Graham Rahal. That's P2 for Graham, so up into second place he will go. As now he tries to get within the slipstream of Sebastian Bourdais in front of him, but he's still got Sato on the inside. As Sato tries to go underneath him again, and he grabs second with ease, so back up to second place goes Takuma Sato. As Rahal again still trying to grab the place off him. They're both getting closer now to the back of Sebastian Bourdais now. Then Bourdais could come under threat again with his race lead. As Rahal again looks to the inside of Takuma Sato. Now they side by side they go before approaching the second banking on the track. Has he got the place? Down the inside he goes. Has he got it? Yes, he has. Up into second place goes Graham Rahal again. As now heading down the straight we go. And now Rahal is in the slipstream now then of Sebastian Bourdais. Can he grab the lead from the defending champion? On the inside he goes. Not quite. Bourdais just able to fend off Rahal at the moment. As they will now make their way down the straight. Sato on the inside again of Graham Rahal. Can he grab the place off him now then into the second banking? Side by side they go. And I don't think he... Well, it's still side by side around this banking now. This Sato is not giving up on Graham Rahal. Rahal just able to hang him on the outside. Is now he goes to the inside of Sebastian Bourdais. Is this going to be the lead of the race for Graham Rahal? And yes, it is. Rahal leads here at Talladega for the first time today. Rahal in the lead of the race. Now into the banking we will go. Sato goes around the outside of Bourdais and he grabs second. So Sato up to second place now then. Trying to grab the lead from Rahal again if he can. As they now just go around the section of corners. Bourdais goes underneath him again and Bourdais on the inside again of Graham Rahal. Has he got the lead back off him? Yes, Bourdais back in front of Graham Rahal at the moment. Sato around the outside of Rahal again for second. Rahal holds him off. And Rahal trying to see if he can grab Bourdais, but he's too far behind to try and get him into the first banking now then. And now around the banking we go on the racetrack now then. And now they will soon go onto the straight. And so now heading down the straight we will go on the track. Rahal looks like he's a bit too far back because now here comes Sato again on the inside of Graham Rahal. This is going to be second again for the Japanese driver. Down the inside, yes it is. Up into second goes Takuma Sato in the Fantai racing car. So again P2 going to Taco as we will soon start lap 51 of 200 here at the Talladega Superspeedway. So specifically as Sato tries to look to the inside of Sebastian Bourdais. Down the inside he goes and that is the lead again for Takuma Sato. So Sato back in front at this stage now then. As Rahal tries to follow through as well, but Bourdais back in the slipstream on lap 51 of 200. 140 laps to go then in this race. Bourdais on the inside. We go now then into the corner. So not 140, 150 laps to go. Down the inside and Bourdais has grabbed the lead again from Takuma Sato. As now Sato again tries to get back on the inside of Sebastian Bourdais again. Will he try and grab the lead again? And I think he has. Sato back in front. Rahal trying to follow as well with Bourdais. Trying to find a way back, preventing Rahal from putting a pass into the next banking. Bourdais again on the inside of Takuma Sato. Down the inside he goes. Will Bourdais get the place? Yes, he can. Bourdais up into the lead again in front of Takuma Sato. Rahal, can he try and grab Sato in front of him at the moment? No, Sato holds up for the moment. Bourdais got a little bit of a buffer at the moment, but I don't think it'll be too much. But we'll wait and see when we approach the first banking on the track. And now up towards the first banking we will go on the racetrack. And he's too far back. What about Rahal? Rahal trying to look to the outside of Takuma Sato. As Helio Castroneves has now dropped off from this group. Maybe starting to fend. It's just pretty much, lonely race at the moment. Chavez 5th, Pagano 6th, Rossi 7th, Newgarden 8th, Alonso 9th, and Dixon rounding off the top 10 in that group that's going on there. Meantime, Rahal on the inside of Takuma Sato. What's going to kick off now then into the second banking? Can he find a way through on the inside? Has he got the move done? Yes, he has. Up into second place goes Graham Rahal in the Martini. And so up into second again goes Graham Rahal. Can he now try and get hold of Sebastian Bourdais in front of him at the moment for the lead as they will go down the straight? Well, I say that because Sato's on the inside. Here he goes, and that's P2 again for Takuma Sato. And now on the slipstream with Sebastian Bourdais yet again in this race. Right in the slipstream we go. Can he try and get him into the first banking? I think he was a little bit too far back to challenge at that point. Around the outside we go. Can Sato grab the place again? Round the outside. Sato trying to keep within the place now. Then side by side they go, heading down the straight. Has he got the position now then as they will continue to travel side by side? with each other, and Rahul's in the lead. He's mugged both of them, so Rahul now in front of the race. Bourdais in second, Sato third, so Rahul finds himself leading the race again as Sato goes around the outside of Bourdais to take second. Can he find a way through on Rahul? Coming around the banking now then, is there space? No, Rahul covers him off. Bourdais takes advantage, tries to look to the inside again on Graham Rahul. This is exciting stuff. Rahul covers off Bourdais, heading down towards the start-finish straight now then on the racetrack. As now again Bourdais on the inside of Rahul for the lead. Can Bourdais grab the place? And yes, he can. Bourdais back in the lead of the race now then. As Sato tries to follow through. Sato having to hang back for the moment at this stage of the race. As now we ride on board with Graham Rahul on the inside of Sebastian Bourdais yet again. Has he grabbed the place down the inside? And yes, he has. Graham Rahul leads again here at Talladega as Bourdais tries to grab hold of him again in this race. And well, isn't able to do so. Rahul holds off for the moment. Sato drops back a bit from these two. As now, around this banking we go. Bourdais again. As out goes championship leader J.R. Hildebrand. So that's big implications in the championship. Hildebrand is out of the race. What's happened to him? Whereabouts? And there he is. It's a suspension failure for the Silicon Valley Racing driver. And the championship leader, J.R. Hildebrand, is out of the race. And we're down to 19 runners. This is big for the championship at this stage. Whether he'll lose it as a result, we'll have to wait and see. Bourdais on the inside now then of Graham Rahul. Rahul again covers him off down towards the start-finish line. And now up towards the first banking again. We will go. Bourdais trying to look to the inside of Graham Rahul. Is this the lead again? Yes, it is. Bourdais back in the lead of the race. As now Sato tries to find a way through on second place man Graham Rahul. And Sato again on the inside he goes. This is P2 for the Japanese driver. And I think he might be. Yes, it is. That's P2 for Takuma Sato at the moment. Gives Bourdais a little bit of breathing space at the moment. As now around the banking now then go all three of them as they continue to scrap it out for the lead here at the Talladega Superspeedway. I wouldn't be surprised if we're pretty close soon to the second round of stops. In fact, we're nowhere near yet. Probably around about another 10 laps. We could see the second round of stops getting on the way. Rahul on the outside of Sato and he retakes second. So back up to second place goes Graham Rahul in the Martini Inertia. As now, again Sato looking to the inside. Can he grab the place? Again down the inside into the first banking. And Sato retakes the place. So back up to second goes Taku in the Fantari car. And now back on Bourdais again, trying to look to the outside of the EMR. As, no, not quite. Bourdais covers him off for the moment. Heading down this straight before approaching the next banking. We will soon go on the track. Sato on the inside of Sebastian Bourdais. Can he find a way through? Down the inside he goes. And yes, he can. Sato back in the lead of the race now. Then Rahul's dropped back a bit from this scrap. And but I wouldn't be surprised if he closes up again in a little bit. Heading down the straight. As they will soon go side by side with each other. We're 2 minutes away from the 3:30 mark for anybody wondering. Bourdais on the inside and he reclaims the lead again from Taku. So back in the lead goes Sebastian Bourdais. As now heading into the next banking we will now go. And so around the banking we go on the racetrack now then. So now just going around the section of corners now then. Bourdais heading down the straight now. Then Sato back on the inside. Has he grabbed the lead again from Bourdais? Yes, he has. Sato in the lead ahead of Sebastian Bourdais. So back in the lead of the race goes Takuma Sato in the Fantari car now then. Around the banking we will now go. As Sato now in the lead of the race. Bourdais now then still trying to get hold of them. Rahul has officially now dropped back from this scrap. So it's now a 2-horse race again. For the lead, Bourdais on the inside. Has he grabbed the lead again from Takuma Sato? Yes, he has. Bourdais back in front at the moment. As now we go down this straight before approaching the next banking on the track. And so that's that really around the banking now. Then we go. And Sato back in the lead of the race as Bourdais unable to find a way through again after that banking. As now Bourdais will go down this straight to try and retake the place again. As here they go then down the straight. Bourdais on the inside. Can he try and re-grab the place again from Takuma Sato? Side by side go the pair of them now then into the next banking. And yes, he has. Up into the lead again goes Sebastian Bourdais, the defending champion, back in front of the field at this stage. So now we look at Taku now, then he's all over the back of Sebastian Bourdais. Is this going to be the lead again for Takuma Sato? And yes, it is. So into the lead again goes Taku as he gets back in front of Sebastian Bourdais. And now Bourdais will try and grab hold of Taku again into the first banking. Down the inside we go. Has Bourdais grabbed the lead again? Yes, he has. Bourdais back in front. And these two have just been non-stop switching ever since they pulled a gap in front of Rahal. And so now we're on the first banking. As Sato goes on the inside again. Can he try and re-grab the place? And yes, he can. Sato back in the lead as he gets back in front of Sebastian Bourdais. Around the banking we go. And so now again Bourdais will try and look to the outside of Takuma Sato if he can. Looking to the inside. Can he pull it off? As they will go side by side of each other again. Coming towards the start-finish straight now then on the track. As we start lap 60 of 200 then here at Talladega. We've just passed the 3:30 mark for anybody wondering. And well, that's that really. So now we have 141 laps to go. Sato back down the inside of Sebastian Bourdais. Sato again has grabbed the lead from Bourdais in this race. And now he finds himself right in front of the field. As sparks come off the back of the Fantari car. Is Bourdais close enough to try and get him back into the second banking? I am not 100% sure, but we will wait and see. Up towards the next banking we will soon go. So round the second banking and Sato and gets into the Sato looks like he's now pulled a bit of a gap now on Sebastian Bourdais. Whether he will do on this straight, we'll have to wait and see as we ride on board with Sebastian Bourdais at the moment round the left-hander, heading in towards the next banking we will soon go. And I think Bourdais is too far back, so Sato now has created a gap between himself and Sebastian Bourdais at the moment to be in the lead of the race. Rahal is just too far back to challenge these guys at the moment. And so that's that really, as now they just go around that banking. As Bourdais looks like he's just continuing to slip time a little bit at the moment. It's Chavez now then starting to gain onto Helio Castroneves in front of him at the moment. Alonso's in 6th trying to gain onto these guys. Newgarden though still giving him a little bit of a hard time at this stage of the race, as he will now approach the next banking on the track. As can he try and get him on the inside into the second banking? I think he might have got the place, and yes he has. Newgarden into 6th place then he goes. So P6 then for him as far as he's concerned. As now Takuma Sato now then is going to Castroneves is just going to hold off to Gabby Chavez. I don't know if I said Sato there by accident, but Sato still fending off Sebastian Bourdais at the moment, as there's a bit of a fire over in the British Superbike race at Assen. As now Alonso gets himself in front of Rossi, and now on the inside of Newgarden again. Can it be 6th for the 3-time IFMC champion? Has he got the place? Yes, Alonso up to 6th. Can he carry the momentum and try and get hold of Chavez on the next straight now then, as he tries to gain onto Helio Castroneves for 4th place now then. And so now heading down this straight, heading in towards the next banking on the track. Is now back on the inside again goes Joseph Newgarden. Can he re-grab 6th again from him now then? And he has. So back up to 6th goes Joseph Newgarden at the moment, as Bourdais now then tries to get all of Sato in front. And is he unable to do so at the moment? He's still not close enough. He's trying to get inches closer, but still not getting close enough at the moment. As now Alonso's up to 6th, and again now starting to challenge Chavez for 5th. Can he get on the inside into the first banking? Through goes Rossi on Newgarden as well. Into the first banking as Alonso grabbed 5th. Down the inside he goes, and yes he has. Up in the 5th place goes Fernando Alonso in the e-power car now then, heading down towards the straight, as now he will try and get hold of Helio Castroneves in front for 4th, trying to get in the slipstream, but Chavez is on the inside again on the Spaniard. But Alonso might have a little bit of momentum because he's now in the slipstream. Castroneves down the inside then goes Fernando Alonso. Can he grab Helio Castroneves for 4th place down the inside into the second banking? And yes he has. Alonso up into 4th place in the in the E-Power cars. Meantime, these two have been scrapping it out while we've been looking at it. Sato and Bourdais again switching positions. Bourdais got in front earlier, but now Sato retakes the lead again of Sebastian Bourdais. Bourdais again on the inside of Takuma Sato as we will now approach the next banking on the track, and Bourdais has retaken the lead yes he has. Bourdais back in front of Takuma Sato as now side by side goes Chavez and Castaneras at P4 for Gabby Chavez, as now Rossi will go around the outside of Helio Castaneras as Castaneras just gets his advantage, trying to get hold of Chavez now then, as he will go on the inside of him at this stage. Meantime now then, Bourdais and Sato still side by side with each other. Sato retaking the lead again from Sebastian Bourdais. Heading down the straight, we will soon go on the track. So now we will go down towards the start-finish straight as Bourdais now on the inside. Has he got the place? And yes, he has. Bourdais back in the lead of the race now. Then we will go as it looks like Castaneras is coming in this time by on lap 64 on his part, but it's on lap 65 now of the race. Rossi and Castaneras are in for their scheduled stops, as were a few other cars as well. So we're into the second round of pit stops as now Castaneras is now fueled himself to the end of the race. Ed Jones is also into the pits as well. I think Alexander Rossi, I think I saw his name in the pits. Yes, Alexander Rossi is in the pits himself. As where is this going to put Castaneras? It will be a long stop because he's putting on a lot of fuel. Max Chilton is into the pits himself. And let's see where Castaneras is going to emerge. As he just goes trundling down pit lane. As where is Castaneras going to emerge? And as he just trundles down pit lane. And so now he flicks off the pit limiter. And he is going to rejoin a lap down in 14th place. So that's where he'll rejoin. But remember, these guys are still yet to make a stop, of course. So pretty irrelevant that he's a lap down. But that's that really is. Hinchcliffe and Pagenaud fight it out for what is 7th. And Pagenaud just grabs the edge on him at the moment. So meantime, Bourdais now leading the race. He's got a bit of a gap in front of Takuma Sato. None of those two are pitting, but Graham Rahal behind them is. And he's having a pretty quiet race in third after having a pretty quiet race after pulling a gap on Helio Castaneras and losing time to Sato and Bourdais in front. But he's now coming into the pits now. Then on lap 66 into the pits. Then goes Graham Rahal for Martini Inertia as he will trundle down pit lane, and let's see where Rahal will emerge once this pit stop is done and dusted. As the Martini mechanics get to work on his car, as they will put on a fresh set of tyres and fuel. And so let's see where he will emerge. And as you can see, the few other cars coming in the pits as well. One of the adrenaline cars is in, not quite sure which one that is. As looks like there's another car in as well. I don't know which car that is. It's a couple of rows back. It might be a Silicon Valley Racing. I don't even know anymore. Who is that in the pits? It is Will Power that's into the pits for Eldorado, as now Graham Rahal comes into pit lane. Coming out of the pit lane, Robert Wickens was also in as well for Adrenaline. Where is this going to put Graham Rahal out on the track? Newgarden in for Target Andy Graham Racing. Obviously a long stop for these guys because they're now fueling to the end of the race. And Rahal is going to rejoin in 9th position. So that's where he's going to emerge on the track. Very close to contact there. He is a lap down, but that is currently irrelevant because there's still guys who are a lap in front of him who are still yet to make a pit stop. As meantime now, Alonso and Chavez go side by side with each other around the outside into the first banking. Can Alonso pull the move off? Side by side, the pair of them go. And yes, he has a brilliant move from Alonso. That's P3 for the 3-time IFMC champion at this stage, as both Bourdais and Sato are coming into the pits this time by. So both of them coming in as they all go around the banking now then, and they will be in the pits. So into the pits go the pair of them now then. Montoya is in for his scheduled stop for Red Rose Racing. Both the top two into the pits, and that's that really now then. As they will come around what I'm trying to say, into the pits now then, so they're both in. And so that's that for those guys. As where is this going to put Bourdais on the track? As he's now filling up now to the end of the race. As in front, Sato's also in the stop himself, as is Scott Dixon for Eldorado. So 3 guys into the pits at this stage. And Bourdais just waiting for the lollipop to be released for him. And here he goes now then to Bourdais, finally able to get going again. And very long stop, it must be said. But where is it going to put him out? Alonso's in for his scheduled stop, so the Spaniard in. As where is this going to put Sebastian Bourdais out on the track? Where is Graham Rahal on the track? That's what I want to know at this stage. Rahal is... where is he? Rahal's only just coming up towards start-finish straight, so I don't know if Rahal's going to lose a lot of time, because Bourdais still in the lead after the pit stop. Sato still going to emerge in front. Chavez may have gained a lot of time in the pits. No, through goes Rahal to get back up to third. As Chavez, meantime, where is Helio Castroneves? That's what I want to know. He rejoins in 4th, Pagenaud 5th, and Hinchcliffe's there. Hinchcliffe also got the jump on Castroneves himself. Castroneves has dropped to 7th place after the pit stop, so a disaster for him, as Newgarden gets 8th. Dixon rejoins 9th after his pit stop, as now Rahal gets the momentum onto Kimisato, who's only just come out the pits, and that's P2 for Graham Rahal, with Bourdais now having a huge lead in front. So Bourdais now with a sizable lead in front now to get to the end of the race here at Talladega, but Rahal up into 2nd, getting in front of Kimisato, but Sato has not given up on him yet, as now they go around the banking. Will Sato try and find a way through again on Graham Rahal? Heading down the straight now then, Sato in the slipstream, trying to have a go again at him in front, as we now start lap 70 of 200, so 131 laps remaining here at Talladega. As now heading down this straight, we will now go. Sato on the inside of Graham Rahal. Can he find a way through on the inside? Down the inside he goes, and yes he can. Sato retakes 2nd from Graham Rahal, as James Hinchcliffe now then trying to get hold of Gabby Chavez in front of him at the moment. And so now heading through the banking now then, through the bank corner, as they will soon go down the straight on the track now then, as Rahal again not giving up on Sato. Side by side they go down the inside, and that's P2 again for Graham Rahal. So up into 2nd place goes Graham, and all this is giving Bourdais a very huge lead out in front at the moment. Sato now trying to get back underneath him now then as they go down the straight. Sato on the inside, can he grab 2nd place from Graham Rahal now then? Side by side they go, and Sato grabs 2nd, so back up to 2nd place goes to Kimisato in the Fantari car now then, as they start another lap. 130 laps remaining now then, as we're on lap 71. Now down the inside again goes Graham Rahal. Can he grab the place? And I think he has, so up into 2nd place goes Graham Rahal. And so now around the banking we will now go on the racetrack, as there is Bourdais now then with quite a comfortable gap in front of these two, who are continuing to scrap it out for 2nd place. Chavez is in 4th place in the Macamo car, so he's gained a lot in the pit stops, it must be said, as Sato and Rahal continue to scrap it out for 2nd. Down the inside goes Sato again, as they go side by side around the 2nd banking now then on the track. And Sato takes 2nd with ease, so back up to 2nd place goes to Kimisato in the Fantari car, as he will make his way down the straight now then. And so that's that really. Looks like Rahal might be starting to fall back now from Kimisato, so as he's not really in the slipstream back on him now then, so it looks like Rahal might start to fall back a bit, and Sato could try and get his foot down, try and chase after race leader Sebastian Bourdais if he can. As I do apologise there for the drop of frames. As now around this banking we go, heading down the straight, and Rahal now starting to fall back from this scrap, as Pagenaud and Hinchcliffe go side by side with each other in this scrap for 5th place now then. And they continue to go side by side, as Newgarden watching on with possibly some popcorn in his hand. Now into the next banking we go. Pagenaud still and Hinchcliffe still going to go side by side around this banking. Hinchcliffe still not giving an inch, but has to eventually. Pagenaud in 5th place now then. Newgarden trying to take advantage. He's on the outside of James Hinchcliffe. It is 6th place for the target, Andy Graham car. And yes, it is. Up into 6th place goes Joseph Newgarden, as he will now try and grab 5th from Simon Pagenaud in front if he can. In the slipstream he goes, looking to the outside. As Newgarden got the place off Pagenaud now then, and had to back out of it. Can Hinchcliffe take full advantage and try and retake 6th from Newgarden? Into the next banking we will soon go on the racetrack now then. Hinchcliffe on the inside of Newgarden. Can he try and grab the place as they all go side by side? That's P6 again. Isn't able to follow through on Pagenaud. Well, I say that Newgarden still holding on to the place as he now goes side by side with Simon Pagenaud out of the first banking, and now it's 3 wide between the pair of them. Heading down, there we go now then, and Hinchcliffe so close to touching Newgarden, takes full advantage, gets up to 5th. Newgarden 6th. Pagenaud down to 7th, but Pagenaud trying to retake 6th again from Joseph Newgarden into the second banking. And is that 6th again for Simon Pagenaud? It is. So back up to 6th place goes to Simon Pagenaud at this stage. Ray Hall too far back to challenge Takumi Sato at the moment, so has to hang back at this stage of the race. As now they just go around the section of corners on the racetrack. And now up towards the next banking we will go. And so now around the banking we go. As now, as you can see, you can just quite see now then Sato now quite a bit of a gap in front of Graham Rahal at the moment. And they now just head down this straight on the track. And so that's that really. Is now they will head down towards the next banking on the track. And now around the banking we will go on the racetrack now then. And so now into the next section of corners we will go. As now we go down the straight. And so now into the next banking. So around this banking we go now then on the racetrack. And so now around the banking now then we will soon go on the racetrack. So now we just go around the section of corners as Rahal tries to close in on Takumi Sato in front of him at the moment. As meantime, Simon Pagenaud's got back in front of, is still in front of Newgarden for 6th for the moment. Cachanero is in 8th as Alonso's outside the top 10 and falling back a bit now from Alexander Rossi's Fantavi car as he just tries to hold on to this 11th place at the moment. Meantime, look at Pagenaud now then on the inside of James Hinchcliffe. Is it going to be 5th place for him now then as they go side by side into the next section of corners? And is that 5th place again for Simon Pagenaud? And that is 5th place for Simon Pagenaud in this race. And so now heading down the straight now, then we will go on the track. As now, again, they go side by side. Hinchcliffe retakes the place from Pagenaud as they still continue to scrap it out for 5th place. As Pagenaud now, could he try and get him back as they go down this straight. Now they're heading in towards the inside. Both of them losing time to Gabby Chavez in front. And so now, heading down this straight. And Pagenaud has grabbed 5th again from James Hinchcliffe. So back up to 5th place then goes the Frenchman. As here is Gabby Chavez looking very lonely in 4th, a long way behind Graham Rahal, who is starting to lose time again to Sato. And Bourdais at the moment, here he is, the current race leader, just continuing to dominate the race since the second stop and just pull out a big advantage in front of Sato and Graham Rahal at this stage as they just make their way around the banking now then on the track. As Bourdais now will start lap 77 of 200 then here at the Talladega Superspeedway. So 124 laps remaining then in this race. As now in towards the first banking we will now go. On the first banking and then into the next banking we will soon go. And now around the corner now, then heading down the straight before approaching the next banking on the track. As Graham Rahal will try and get hold of Sato in front of him at this stage. And so now he will try and get hold of Sato in front. And now around the banking now then we will now go. And Rahal is now starting to get right back in the slipstream of Takumi Sato, so their fight is continuing once again. Rahal now then on the inside of Takumi Sato. We've got a good run coming out of the final banking. Can he grab second? Yes, he can. So back up to second place goes Graham Rahal. Will Sato try and get him back into the first banking? I think he's a little bit too far back, I think. So Rahal getting the place there up into second. Will Sato maybe go for a move on the next straight? We'll have a look. Around the banking we go. And so around this banking now, then we go on the racetrack. So now coming down the straight, and there is Bourdais still with quite a comfortable gap in front as he looks for his second victory of the season, and his first win on an oval, and EMR's first win on an oval as well. Around this banking we go. As you can see, Rahal now then, I think he's now starting to pull a gap onto Kumasato. Sato now starting to lose time, so Sato now starting to drop back a bit, maybe just preserving his tyres a little bit, and then maybe just pushing hard within the next few laps or so as they start another lap. So that's that really. So Rahal still in front at the moment. We're 10 minutes away from the 4 o'clock mark for anybody wondering, and it has been quite a long race, it must be said, but it has been quite exciting. It's not like Daytona. I mean, yeah, Daytona did have some excitement, but not as much as what not as much as what Talladega's offered, possibly because it is an oval track, of course. And now around the banking we will go. Meantime, now Simon Pagenaud is caught up to the back of Gabby Chavez, and now these two will fight it out for 4th place. Side by side they go. Is Pagenaud going to grab 4th? And yes, he is. Up into 4th place goes Simon Pagenaud in the Silicon Valley racing car. Will Chavez try and grab him back now then as they go down the straight? Heading down the straight now, then we go on the racetrack. So now we'll go around this left-hander. Chavez now on the outside. Can he try and grab the place if he can? Side by side they go. Pagenaud covers him off, holding on to the place. Hinchcliffe though behind does not take full advantage of that, and he's so far behind so far in 6th place. Round the banking we go as Chavez still trying to grab Pagenaud in front of him at the moment, and as you can see, Sato heading down the straight before approaching the next bank, and he's too far back to challenge at the moment. And so around this banking we will go on the racetrack, and so now around we go now. They're heading down the straight, and so now heading down the straight we go now on the track. Sato, will he be able to grab the place in front of Graham Rahal? At the moment he's too far back, possibly, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, probably just letting the tyres cool down a bit, and then he'll try and push out a little bit later on. Lap 81 we're now on of 200, and we have specifically 120 laps remaining here at Talladega. So we are 20 laps away from the lap 100 mark here at Talladega. Hinchcliffe's now got himself in the battle, and he's taken both of them. So Hinchcliffe up into 4th, passing Chavez and Pagenaud. Chavez takes advantage to get back in front of Pagenaud for 5th. Now he's on the inside of Hinchcliffe again for 4th place. Can Chavez grab the place off the mayor of Hinchtown as they go side by side into the next banking now then on the track? Chavez on the inside. Has he got 4 from Hinchcliffe now then? Side by side they go. And yes, he has. Chavez back up into 4th place, getting in front of James Hinchcliffe, as now they will go down the straight heading in towards the next banking. They will soon go on the track as through goes Pagenaud now. So Pagenaud follows through. So Pagenaud up into 5th place now in the Silicon Valley racing car. Around this banking we go before approaching the first banking on the track. We're 7 minutes away from the 4 o'clock mark for anybody wondering. Into the next banking we go, as Pagenaud will soon look to the outside of the track. Pagenaud trying to find a way through on Gabby Chavez if he can, but isn't able to do so at this stage of the race. Down towards the straight. Through goes Hinchcliffe again, getting underneath, and he also goes by on Gabby Chavez. So 4th place going to James Hinchcliffe again, as Pagenaud tries to get back in front of the young Colombian himself. So it looks like Chavez though is still in Hinchcliffe's slipstream as he looks to the inside into the second banking. Can he find a way through? Side by side they go into the second banking, and I think he has done. Yes, he has. Up into 4th place goes Gabby Chavez, and here comes Pagenaud around the outside of Hinchcliffe. And can he find a way through as they will go side by side? Hinchcliffe just has the edge to hold on to 5th place for the moment. Hinchcliffe, though, trying to get back at Chavez in front. So now, into these next section of corners we will go on the racetrack. Now there's sparks coming off the back of Chavez's car, as now Hinchcliffe will look to the outside of Gabby, but Gabby again covers him off, holds on to 4th as they will now approach the next banking on the track. And now around this banking now then we will go on the racetrack, as now we ride on board with James Hinchcliffe, as he will try and look to the outside of this now then, as they will go down the straight, and now they will go side by side with each other heading down towards the next corner, as Hinchcliffe got the place as they go side by side, and yes, he has, I think, as they will continue to go side by side, and yes, Hinchcliffe up into 4th place again, getting in front of Gabby Chavez. Pagenaud drop back a bit now from this scrap for 4th, as they will go around the banking, heading down the straight. They will soon go on the track. Chavez looking to the inside again on Hinchcliffe now then, as they will continue to go side by side of each other. Will Chavez try and grab the place again? No, Hinchcliffe covers him off, holds on to 4th place. Pagenaud unable to take full advantage of that and has to stay behind at this stage of the race. So now into the next banking we will go on the racetrack now then. Pagenaud still putting him under some pressure. Pagenaud now then in the slipstream, looking to the outside again on Gabby Chavez. Chavez still able to hold him off. Chavez now falling back from James Hinchcliffe, who's now up to 4th and trying to catch after teammate Graham Rahal if he can. Sorry, not Graham Rahal, catch after Takuma Sato, who's falling back from Hinchcliffe's teammate Graham Rahal. Down the inside goes Pagenaud, and he grabs 5th from Chavez. Up to 5th place goes Simon Pagenaud in the Silicon Valley racing car, as we will now approach the next banking on the track. Around the left-hander we go, as Simon Pagenaud still quite a bit in front of Gabby Chavez at the moment. Chavez, though, still trying to get back at him if he can. As now he looks to try and look at the outside of the track now then. And so heading down this straight now then we go on the track. And that's not really as far as they are concerned, as now we will go into these next section of corners on the track. And so now in towards the banking now then, as Gabby Chavez now then starts to fall back off Hinchcliffe, as Pagenaud still struggles to find a way through at the moment. And so that's that really at the moment. Meantime, Helio Castroneves in the EMR lost time after the second stop. He's now coming up towards the back of Joseph Newgarden at this stage of the race, and looking to challenge 7th place off him if he can. Now into the next banking we will soon go on the track. As now into the next banking we go. As now through the next banking we will go. And now into the left-hander now then we go on the track, as Gabby Chavez now then, sorry, not Gabby Chavez, Helio Castroneves tries to get onto the back of Joseph Newgarden now then at the moment, as they will go down the straight before approaching the next corner on the track. And so now into the banking we will go on the racetrack. And as now he will come out of the turn now then into the next corner. Fernando Alonso now in the top 10, trying to challenge Alexander Rossi for 9th place at the moment, as these two look to scrap it out themselves at this stage. So Pagenaud looks like he's now starting to drop back from Chavez, so not really putting any pressure now then on the Colombian, so it looks like he's just settling down a bit into a rhythm. Scott Dixon's into the pits. Why is he in? Was that a scheduled stop? It wasn't. It was an electrical problem for Scott Dixon. So problems for the Eldorado. Dixon had to come into the pits for an electrical problem, and that's now going to drop him down to the back of the pack. So a disaster for Eldorado in Indy today here at Talladega Superspeedway. As meantime, luckily for him, I don't think the leaders are going to lap him, but that's that really. Is meantime Bourdais now then. Coach just coming around the section of cars, 1 minute away now then from the 4 o'clock mark, as Bourdais now then starts lap 87 of 200 now then here at Talladega. And yes, Dixon actually will get lapped, so so I was wrong there, he is going to get himself lapped. So now we have specifically 114 laps remaining of the race here at Talladega, as now we go down the straight now then on the track. Heading into the next banking, we will soon go. And so now, heading into the next banking, he will soon go on the track. So now, around these section of corners, we will now go. And so now heading down the straight we go. As now around the left-hander we go. As Bourdais now then continues to lead the way. As now we will approach these next section of these next bankings he goes, as he's on lap 88. We're now at the 4 o'clock mark, for anybody wondering, with 113 laps to go. As meantime, over he just calmed down a bit. It looks like Dixon's trying to unlap himself at the expense of Takuma Sato, but he seems to be a tad bit too far back to try and attempt something like that. As Dixon now then approaches the next banking on the racetrack now then, before approaching in, as he now tries to try and see if he can get some points out of it. If he can. Meantime, Chavez maybe starting to create a battle. Is unseen by the cameras. Castroneves has got up to 7th, so up into 7th place goes Helio Castroneves in the East Midlands Racing car. He's now pulled a gap in front of Joseph Newgarden, so that's P7 for Helio Castroneves, as Alonso has taken 9th from Alexander Rossi, but Rossi has not given up on him yet. Rossi trying to get back on him if he can. Heading down the straight we go on the track. Rossi now then looking to the inside of Fernando Alonso, as he tries to look to the inside of the 3-time champion in IFMC, of course, and that's P9 for Alexander Rossi. So up to 9th place then goes Alexander Rossi on the racetrack, as now he goes down towards the banking. And so there we go, as now we just go around these section of corners, as Graham Rahal now then maybe starting to get caught up again by Sato, but I think Sato's a little bit worried at the moment that Dixon might try and unlap himself at the moment, as they go around at the second banking at the moment. Dixon still down the field at the moment, as he's currently 18th at this stage. And Bourdais at the moment currently in first place, as they will go down the straight. And so now heading down the straight on the racetrack, as Bourdais now then coming down the straight before approaching the next banking on the racetrack. And so Bourdais now then currently leading the race at the moment. And so now just going around the corner now then on the racetrack, as they will go down the straight. And so now Sebastian Bourdais heading into the next banking on the racetrack now then, as Bourdais continues to stretch his advantage out in front at this stage, as he's about to start lap 91 of the race. So we'll have 110 laps remaining here at Talladega. We're still yet to get to the lap 100 mark at the moment, so it's been quite a long race, it must be said, around here at Talladega, as now Bourdais just goes around the corner now then on the racetrack. And so Bourdais now then approaches the next corner, and so Bourdais still stretching his advantage at the moment, as the 4th, 5th and 6th are just kind of separated from each other at this stage. Alonso has now got away from Alexander Rossi, as he now tries to chase down Joseph Newgarden in front of him at the moment, who is trying to chase back down on Helio Castroneves in the race, as they will go around this banking. Fernando Alonso now then, around the banking he goes, as he will try and get hold of Joseph Newgarden in front. And so now heading down the straight before approaching the next corner on the track. And so now heading down the straight we go, as Alonso has still got a bit of a gap in front of Rossi, as Alonso tries to get hold of Newgarden in front. So now around this banking we go, and so now heading down the straight. And so now Joseph Newgarden currently 8th at the moment. And there we go now then, as you can see, Fernando Alonso getting close to the back of Newgarden now then. He's pretty much near his slipstream at this stage of the race, as they come down the straight. Alonso now then just trying to put some pressure on Newgarden in front now then, into the first banking. Alonso can sniff a few more points in front, and he's getting a lot of momentum going around this first banking. Can he try and grab 8th place now then from Joseph Newgarden, as they will soon go side by side with each other now then on the track? And is this P8 then for Fernando Alonso? And yes, it is. Alonso up into 8th place with that. And so that's not really as far as they are concerned. So P8 now then for Fernando Alonso. And so now around the banking we go. And so he's up into 8th, but it looks like Newgarden's not going to give up on him at the moment. Newgarden back on the inside now then of Fernando Alonso, as they will continue to scrap it out now then, as they will go down this straight, as we have passed the I think I've already mentioned we passed the 4 o'clock mark. As now round this this banked left-hander we go. They will soon go side by side on the track, and Newgarden unable to find a way through at that point, as Alonso still doing a good job fending him off at the moment. Newgarden unable to get him into the first banking, possibly going to have to wait for the second banking to try and make a move, probably the second straight, as Newgarden now then right in the slipstream then of Fernando Alonso, as he will look to the outside of Nando. Around this bank corner we go, heading down the straight, and so now then heading down the straight now then we go on the racetrack, as now Newgarden goes side by side with Fernando Alonso. Can he find a way through on him now then, as he got the place back off Nando, as they will go side by side with each other, side by side into the next banking we will go. And yes, he can. Newgarden up into 8th place with that pass there then, as Hinchcliffe now then currently 4th. Meantime, Bourdais about to start lap 94 of the race, lap 94 200. And now we approach the next banking on the racetrack, and now round the corner we go. So now into the section of corners we go on the track now then, round the banking, as Sebastian Bourdais heads down the straight, and as he continues to try and stretch his advantage out in front, ahead of Graham Rahal, looking to try and get his second victory of the season. We're still yet to get to the halfway stage of the race, which is quite dragging if you ask me. But anyway, round the banking we go, and Bourdais now then just coming out of the turn, heading down the straight, and so now the left-hander there then goes Sebastian Bourdais, as he starts another lap now then on the track, and so far just continuing to dominate the race. 106 laps remaining now then in this race, 6 laps till we get to the lap 100 mark, as Bourdais makes his way around this banking now then on the track. And so now heading down the straight we go, as now Bourdais going down this straight now then on the racetrack, as he will soon approach the banking on the in a little bit now then. Here's Graham Rahal currently in second, still trying to see if he can try and chase Bourdais down at the moment, but still quite a bit back at this stage of the race. And so that's not really as far as they're concerned. Rahal now then just going around the second banking now there on the track, and we'll have a look and see what the gap is like anyway between these two, as they will now have 105 laps remaining. Once they cross the line, we start lap 96 of the race. Let's see the gap now then, as we will approach the first banking on the track. And so the gap between them being, let's have a look, 1.8 seconds. He's also got a 1.1 second cushion in front of Takuma Sato at the minute. As Bourdais now, they're still continuing to lead the way at the moment, as he goes down the straight. And now into the second banking we will now go on the racetrack. And so now around the banking we will go on the track, as they will now go down the straight. And now he will start another lap on this racetrack now then. Lap 97 of 200, and of 200 we now go. 104 laps remaining now then goes Sebastian Bourdais, as he would approach the next banking in a little bit now then. As meantime, what's going on down the field? Well, not really much, really. Everything's just sort of separating itself out. Apart from this scrap for 7th place that's going on. Castaneres, Alonso, and Newgarden at the moment. As Castaneres tries to find a way through on Joseph Newgarden. Again, look like unseen by the cameras, Newgarden actually retook 7th place off Helio Castaneres, but Castaneres will want that position back as he's now going all the way around the outside of Joseph Newgarden. Can he grab 7th place from him now then? Yes, he can. Up into 7th goes Helio Castaneres. Alonso, though, wasn't able to take full advantage of that now then. Will Newgarden try and get Helio Castaneres back if he can? As they will now approach the next banking on the racetrack. And so now into the next banking we go, as Castaneres still in 7th place at this stage. And around the left-hander we go. As we just come off this banking now then, as now Alonso trying to get alongside Joseph Newgarden. Newgarden just covers him off at the moment as Alonso tries to get Joseph Newgarden now then, as they will go down the straight. And so now heading down the straight now then we go. Alonso right in the slipstream now then of Joseph Newgarden, as Alonso will try and look to the inside of Joseph Newgarden now then. Here's Rossi, who's pretty much fell back now from this scrap and just pretty much now having a quiet race down in 10th place. Probably could try and get himself back into this scrap a little bit later, but probably just giving himself a bit of a cool down at the moment and just try and see if he can run a few laps on his own, possibly try and get a fastest lap in there as well. But we'll wait to see. Meantime, Alonso on the back of Joseph Newgarden now then. Well, he was, but he's just not close enough to try and get within the slipstream. Is that because Newgarden is stuck behind Castaneres' slipstream? Well, I say that. It looks like Castaneres has got a big enough gap to stay in front of Newgarden, so it can't be that. Clearly, Alonso's struggling to get within the slipstream then of Joseph Newgarden. Around the banking now, then we go on the track. And let's see if Fernando can find a way through in a little bit now. They're heading down the straight. Alonso on the inside. He goes on the track. Has he got 8th place from Joseph Newgarden? Side by side they go, and yes, he has. Up into 8th place goes Fernando Alonso in the E-Power car. So that's P8 for the 3-time champion. Will Newgarden try and get him back as they will head down this straight? Alonso trying to chase down Castaneres if he can. Newgarden now then in the slipstream of Fernando Alonso as he will go down the inside into the first banking on the track. Can he find a way through on the inside? Down the inside he goes, and yes he can. Newgarden retaking the place again of Fernando Alonso to move back up into 8th place at the moment, as Bourdais will start lap number 100 once he crosses the line next time by, so we'll finally make it to the halfway stage of the race. As now around the banking we will now go on the track now then, as Bourdais now then comes down the straight. And so now going down the straight now then we go on the track, as Bourdais now then starts lap number 100 of 200 then here at Talladega. So we're now at the halfway stage and now at the lap 100 mark here at Talladega. As now we go down the straight now then on the track. Bourdais still leading the way at this stage. As meantime now then look how close Newgarden is to the back of Castaneres again. He's put him right back up as they fight it out for 7th yet again in this race. As they will go side by side of each other into the first banking. Can Newgarden find a way through? Yes, he can. Up into 7th place goes Joseph Newgarden in the Italian Andy Graham racing car now then. As now they will soon go down this straight before approaching the next banking in a little bit. But Castaneres is back on the inside and he grabs 7th from there. So Castaneres back up into 7th place at the moment now then. So back up into 7th place he goes. As here is Graham Rahal currently in 2nd place at the moment. Still looking quite comfortable in that place at this stage now then. Heading down the straight we will go. As now we go around the section of corners now then on the track. As Rahal now then just going down towards the left-hander on the racetrack. And so now around the left-hander we go. And so around this banking then we will go on the racetrack. And so now, as you can see, still got a bit of a gap now then in front of Takuma Sato, but still quite a long way back behind. So quite a long way back from Sebastian Bourdais at the minute. And so that's that really. As meantime, Fernando Alonso. As you can see, Newgarden's got back in front of Castaneras to get up into 7th. Alonso trying his best to try and chase down Castaneras if he can, but so far just not appearing to work at the moment. Round this banking now, then we will go on the track. And so Alonso now then just trying to get hold of Helio Castaneras in front of him at this stage, as now on lap 102 of 200 now then, so 98 laps remaining here at the Talladega Superspeedway for race leader Sebastian Bourdais. Things I think have started to calm down a little bit throughout the rest of the pack, and so that's that at the moment, as now they just come out of the corner there, and there's Rahal just within touching distance of Sebastian Bourdais, but Bourdais still keeping the gap relatively decent between those two at this stage, as now around this next banking we go. As now around this banking heading down towards the next one, as now heading down here now then in towards the left-hander. We will soon go on the racetrack around this left-hander, and now he starts lap 103 of the race, so 97 I think, yes, 97 laps remaining here at Talladega. And so around these section of corners we will go, or am I wrong again? I'm probably wrong again, but 98, that's it, 98 laps to go. I do apologise, this is 98 laps to go. The previous lap was 99 laps to go, as Bourdais still continues to stretch his advantage a little bit out in front. As in fact, what's happened to Bourdais? What's happened to Rahal? Rahal has dropped off somewhere. Something has happened to Graham Rahal. Did we not see something on the camera? I think I might have missed something. Has something happened to Rahal? And there he is. He's as he pulled off the track. I think Rahal has got a problem, and I accidentally pressed the not the non-replay camera, and he has got a problem. Rahal has got an oil leak. Oh, what a shame. Graham Rahal was looking good for a podium finish, a second place finish, might I add, but an oil leak has taken care of that and has given him the middle finger. So Graham Rahal is out of the race, and we're down to 18 runners here at Talladega. Such a shame for the Martini driver. He was looking good for a podium finish, and Rahal is going to be out of the race, and I bet he cannot believe it himself that this has happened to him, as everybody now just streaks past him now then, and Rahal now just trying to get close to a marshal's post to try and get an extinguisher to put out the flames caused by this oil leak at the back of his car, and he's just been robbed of a brilliant podium finish, and I bet he's just not happy at the moment with this, and well, that's pretty much that. Rahal still trying to get the car coasting a bit so he can get close to a marshal or a safer place so that the marshals can clear him, but yeah, that's that really. Rahal with problems, and it's game over for him, and there goes Sebastian Bourdais. I think that was it, just went to lap him there. Sato trying to chase him down now in second. It's Hinchcliffe in third now then in this race, so Hinchcliffe resumes the podium, so at least one Martini retires, the other one takes full advantage. So that's that, as now he will pull off the track, and so that's that really, and so he will try and get it stopped in a little bit. The car's still crawling down, but it will soon, I think, come to a halt, which it does. He pulls off right there, and Graham Rahal's race is now over. He's out, and we're down to 18 runners here at Talladega. So race over for Graham Rahal as far as he is concerned. So no points for Graham Rahal. It's all down to James Hinchcliffe to try and get Martini some points. In the meantime, these three are fighting again, this time for 6th place as a result of Graham Rahal retiring. As now heading around this banking now, then we go heading down towards the next banking on the track. Castaneras is on the inside of Joseph Newgarden as he grabs 6th place from him now then, as Alonso tries to follow through, and Castaneras goes through. What about Alonso? He's on the inside of Helio Castaneras. It's 3 wide briefly into the second banking. Has Alonso got the place? Yes, he has. Up into 6th place goes Fernando Alonso, getting the move done on Helio Castaneras at the moment. Round the banking we go, and so now around the corner now, then we go on the racetrack. As now as now Newgarden tried to have a go, wasn't able to make the move stick, as Alonso now then trying to get hold of Helio Castroneves in front, as now around this banking now then we go on the racetrack, as Castroneves now then tries to get hold of him in front, and so now Helio Castroneves trying to get hold of Fernando Alonso in front of him at this stage, as now as you can see Hinchcliffe, now that he's up into third, we'll try and see, as he's now actually put a lap, I think you just see it now, he actually has put a lap on Scott Dixon. He will now try and chase down Takuma Sato if he can for second place, and try and see if he can try and get the place that Ray Hall lost after his oil leak, as now they just go around the banking now they're on the track, and so now around the corner now then we go. That's now they go down this straight now they're on the track, heading in towards the next corner on the racetrack, and Hinchcliffe now then, let's see the gap between him and Sato at this stage as the start lap 107 of 200 now then, so 194 laps remaining, no, 94 laps remaining left in the race, 1.5 seconds the gap between Sato and Hinchcliffe at this stage, and I'm going to shut the blinds actually because it's getting a bit bright in here and I can't quite see the screen, so that's better. So around the banking now then we go, as now we go around the section of corners now on the track, and meantime Fernando Alonso is now up into 6th place. He's got in front of both Castroneves and Newgarden, so Alonso has got himself up into 6th place at the moment. Let's see if Castroneves can find a way through on Fernando Alonso for 6th, as they will go down this straight now. They're heading in towards the first banking in a little bit. We're 9 minutes away from the 4:30 mark for anybody wondering, as now around the banking now then we will go, as Castroneves now they're just trying to put Alonso under a bit of pressure. They're both getting close actually to the back of Simon Pagenaud's Silicon Valley racing car, so Pagenaud could come under threat in a few laps or so from the guys behind him, so we'll have to look forward to that if that's going to be the case, as now we just go around that banking now then. Alonso 6th, Castroneves still trying to get hold of Fernando Alonso in front, as Castroneves now then just putting Alonso under a tad bit of pressure if he can, and but it looks like he's just too far back to challenge him at the moment. Alonso's just pulled enough of a gap to stay in front at the moment and not get any pressure from Castroneves at this stage, which is a shame really for Castroneves if you think about it, because he was up in a challenging for the podium, and it just seemed like the second stop just kind of cost him, and he's all the way down the field now, and he's just struggling now to make up the field, whereas his teammate who we're viewing at the moment is still leading the race at the moment, quite comfortably it must be said, still leading the way at the moment, and looking good at the moment. Now he's got a bigger gap as a result of Ray Hall's retirement, looking so far good to get his second victory of the season, his first on an oval, and East Midlands' first on an oval as well, so that would be nice for him after what has been a tricky start to this championship for him, as Bourdais now then just going out of the second banking, heading down this straight, and so around the left hander we go, as Bourdais now then crosses the line to start another lap. Lap 110 now then we are on. 91 laps remaining then for Sebastian Bourdais as he continues to chase down the laps at the moment. Round the first banking then we'll go on the racetrack, as now heading down this straight before approaching the next banking we will soon go, as now as you can see at the moment here is Ed Jones, as he's still got quite a big gap in front of Robert Wickens at the moment, and meantime the two Red Rose racing cars down the field, which is quite a shame for them, because after last weekend where Rosenquist took him and the team's first ever IFMC IndyCar win, it just seems they haven't got any pace around this oval, and 15th and 16th is not a good place for either of the Red Rose racing cars to be at the moment. They're just probably just out there at the moment, just trying to gather as much points as possible in these remaining laps we've got left. 90 laps now remaining as Bourdais has started lap 111 over the race, as now he just goes around this banking now then on the track, heading around the first banking on the track he goes, heading down the straight before approaching the next banking, and so far so good for him at this stage. Here is Takuma Sato looking quite lonely at this stage, and so now heading in towards the next corner we go, and that's that really, and as far as they're concerned, and so that's that then really, and so now around the corner we go, as Takuma Sato now then just going around the banking, and that's that really. Sorry about that. It's now coming around the corner. Sorry if you can hear me puppy maybe moaning soon. But anyway, as you can see, Chavez is in fact taking a bit of a chunk out of Hinchcliffe's lead at the moment, as he is currently just not that far behind. He's just put a lap now on Scott Dixon. Alonso starting to pile the pressure again on Simon Pagenaud, so we could have a scrap there. As meantime now then Takuma Sato around the banking now. There we go. As now we just go around these section of corners, and Bourdais now then starts lap 114 of 200 now then in this race, as so we now have specifically 87 laps to go here at Talladega. 87 laps remaining in this race. Around the banking we go, heading down this straight, and so now down the straight we go. Now they're heading in towards the corner, and so now around the second banking. Bourdais now then just going around the corner now. They're on the track, heading down this straight, and so far now they're just continuing to just stretch the advantage. He'll now start another lap 115. He will now start in this race, as meantime, look how close Alonso is still getting now into the back of Simon Pagenaud's Silicon Valley Racing car. So these two look like they're going to scrapping out for a bit. As we ride on board with Simon Pagenaud at the moment, he's probably now just feeling the pressure a bit from Fernando Alonso in towards the next banking. We will now go on the racetrack, as Pagenaud now then continues to get old, try and see if he can try and hold off Alonso, but Alonso now then really starting to pile the pressure on, it seems, and could get a run out of this banking if he's lucky enough. Is he possibly close enough to get a tow and then try and overtake Pagenaud for what will be 5th place in this race, as they will approach these next section of corners on the track. Simon Pagenaud now then currently 5th, as he will now go around the second banking on the track, and so now around the banking we go, as they will approach quite soon in fact. And look at the run Alonso's got coming out of this banking. Can he now try and get hold of Simon Pagenaud for 5th place now then here at Talladega, as now around the left-hander we go. Alonso right in the slipstream now then of Simon Pagenaud. He tucks up. Is he going to look to the inside into the first banking? He is. Down the inside then goes Fernando Alonso on Simon Pagenaud. This is going to get very close. Can Alonso get the place into the first banking down the inside? And yes, he has. Alonso up into 5th place, getting the move done on Simon Pagenaud, and that's P5 for the 3-time IFMC champion. So Alonso moving up a place, but can Pagenaud possibly try and get him back down this next straight now? Then Pagenaud right in the slipstream on the inside. He goes now then on the track, and is this going to be P3-5 for him again? And he's going to continue to go side by side, approaching the next banking. Pagenaud still sit on the inside of Fernando Alonso, and he grabs 5th. Alonso trying to get a gap on the inside. He's found a gap. Is he able to get through? No, Pagenaud was just about to close it, as Castaneves continues to lose time from this scrap at the moment, looking quite lonely in 7th place at this stage of the race. As now we come down the straight. Bourdais starts lap 117 of the race, so now we have 84 laps to go here at Talladega, here at Lincoln, Alabama. As now Bourdais still in the way at the moment. Hinchcliffe still putting some pressure on Takuma Sato now. Then as Chavez trying to close up onto Hinchcliffe in front. As Alonso now then is up to 5th. Pagenaud has not been able to respond, and he's now starting to lose time to Fernando. So up into a legit 5th place now then goes Fernando, as he will now try and close down. It's quite a bit of a task, but he'll try and close down to 4th place man Gabby Chavez in the Macamo car, and for another position. So that will be his next target. Is Bourdais now then still leading the race, as he will start another lap 118 of the race now then, as Bourdais now then comes up towards the next banking on the track. And so round this banking we will go, as he continues to lead the way out in front of the moment. As it's been quite a long race. We've just passed the 4:30 mark, for anybody wondering, as we're now on lap 118 of the race. 83 laps to go here at the Talladega Superspeedway here in Lincoln, Alabama, and so far Bourdais is leading the race quite comfortably in front of Takuma Sato, who's in 2nd, with James Hinchcliffe rounding off the podium. Gabby Chavez 4th, Fernando Alonso 5th, Simon Pagenaud 6th, Helio Castaneves 7th, Joseph Newgarden is in 8th position, with Alexander Rossi 9th and Pietro Fittipaldi rounding off the top 10 at the moment. So both Macamo cars finding themselves in a top 10 position at the moment. And so that's that really, as far as I can say. And here's Takuma Sato currently in 2nd. Hinchcliffe in the background, look, trying to close him down, trying to see if he can try and get that position back that Martini lost as a result of the engine failure from Graham Rahal just a few laps ago. And that's not engine failure, it was an oil leak actually. As now coming down this straight we go. As Sato now then still in 2nd place at the minute. Here is Sebastian Bourdais, as Fernando Alonso now then continuing to pull a gap onto Pagenaud. Things have quietened down just a bit at this stage of the race, possibly just people just taking their time. Still plenty of time left, and then possibly try and go for a last minute push. Is that an engine on the right? It's Sato's engine! Takuma Sato has got an engine failure! Oh, what a shame for the Japanese driver! Takuma Sato was looking good for a podium here today. And, well, Takuma Sato, just like Graham Rahal a few laps ago, has blown his Chevrolet-powered engine. Takuma Sato is going to be out of the race, and we're going to be down to 17 runners here at Talladega. What a shame for the popular Japanese driver. Sato now then, just cruising now with engine failure, just trying to get to a safe place, as an engine failure has taken care of the Japanese driver, and Sato is going to find himself out of the race. And there you go, he's going to be pulling off at this banking, and well, game over for the Japanese driver. And well, that's that really. He might as well stop at this point, which he does. Sato's race is now over, and we are down to 17 runners in this race. Such a shame. Could have had a podium, but it's not going to be now. It's now put Gabby Chavez on the podium, with James Hinchcliffe now up into 2nd place. So he's now got the points back that Rahal lost a few laps earlier. But Sato out, and we are down to 17 runners with the remaining laps that we've got left here at Talladega. As meantime, Alonso 4th at the moment. Here is Sebastian Bourdais, as he is now on lap 121 of 200 now then, so 80 laps to go then for Sebastian Bourdais, and so 80 laps remaining then for him, and still a long way to go yet here at Talladega, as now it does lift Alonso up to 4, so if he can try and attack Chavez, it will be for a podium position. But Chavez is also starting to gain a little bit onto James Hinchcliffe in front, so he could gain a place there, as they will now head down this straight now then towards the next banking on the track, and Gabby Chavez now they're just trying everything in his power to try and get hold of second place man James Hinchcliffe, as now he will try and hunt him down at this stage. Now then round the banking we go, and so around this left-hander we go, and so around this banking now then we go on the track, as James Hinchcliffe and Graham Rahal will try and get hold of Hinchcliffe in front, as sparks come off the back of Chavez's car. And so now around the corner then we go into the banking we go on the track. Chavez, I want to have a look and see what the gap is like actually between him and James Hinchcliffe in front. As now we'll just go around this little banking now then on the racetrack, heading down the straight, and we're on lap 123 now of 200 here at Talladega. So around these section of corners we go on the racetrack now then, and around the corner we go now then. 1.3 seconds a gap between Hinchcliffe and Chavez at the moment, as unseen by the cameras, Rosenquist has actually got in front of Montoya, so he gets himself up into 15th place as a result. Or in fact, is it because he's a lap down actually? I want to know that. Yeah, it is mainly because Montoya is a lap down, so I do apologise for that. That's obviously because Montoya had a collision with Tony Kanaan, which was unseen by the cameras on the first lap, which caused Kanaan to have a huge crash. It's another huge crash Kanaan has had this season, by the way. He's not going very lucky, has he, in terms of crashes this season, but there we are really. It's now around the banking we go. Chavez now then. Let's see the gap this time by. It was 1.3 seconds last time around between him and James Hinchcliffe. What's the gap this time by around the first banking? And the gap being, let's have a look, around the banking, and the gap being still 1.3, so they're both lapping around about the same pace as each other at this stage of the race. Just pretty much putting their foot down, pedal to the metal really. As here is Sebastian Bourdais coming up now then towards the next banking, as the V6 turbo coming out the back of the IndyCar now then screaming as they just go around this oval track. And so far Bourdais doing a comfortable job at the moment in the lead of the race, as he starts lap 125 of 200 then here at Talladega. And so we now have specifically 76 laps remaining here at Talladega, and he's just pretty much chomping away on the laps now then, isn't he? As meantime, Pietro Fittipaldi starting to close in now on Alexander Rossi. Jones is now in the top 10 as a result of Sato's retirement, so that's that really. Is now Fittipaldi will try and see if he can close in on Alexander Rossi in front of him at the moment. As meantime, Fernando Alonso trying his best to get up to the piece of traffic that's in front of him, which is of course Scott Dixon. As now going down this straight now then we go, and now into the next banking we go through the left-hander, and Fernando Alonso now then just going around this banking he will go on the racetrack, and Alonso now then currently 4th, as he will try and try and see if he can try and chase down Gabby Chavez at the moment, which is, as mentioned, a bit of a task, but he will give it his best shot. The gap between Chavez and Hinchcliffe at the moment is now, let's have a look, it was 1.3 the last 2 laps. Is it still 1.3? Yes, it's still 1.3 to the gap. Both of them pretty much, as mentioned, lapping around the same pace as each other at the moment. And so at the moment everybody just seems to have separated themselves out just a little bit. There are signs there could be some more battles happening, but at the moment they're not. currently happening at this stage. So now we just go around the section of corners on the racetrack now then, as here is Pietro Fittipaldi still trying to chase down Alexander Rossi for 8th place at the moment. Round the banking we go, and Fittipaldi now then just going around that banking, as he will now just go around the banking he goes, as he will soon get as close to the wall as possible. So he's getting closer now to the back of Rossi, so he looked like he got a little bit more momentum out the second banking there than what Rossi did. And at the same time, Rossi's also trying to chase down Joseph Newgarden for 7th, so it could even become a three-way scrap at this stage. So let's see the gap then between Fittipaldi and Rossi at the moment, as they will make their way into the banking now then. Again, another banking. And what is the gap now then between the pair of them? And the gap being 0.6 seconds, so it's just over half a second between the pair of them at this stage. As now they just come out of the first banking now then. Cashineves slowly but surely starting to close in again on Simon Pagenaud, so he could gain a place before the end of the race, of course. As now we just go around the banking on the track, and Cashineves still trying his utmost best to get hold of him at the moment. So we're 20 minutes away from the 5 o'clock mark for anybody wondering. As now heading down this straight now then we go. And so now heading around this banking now then he'll go before approaching the first banking. What's the gap between him and what's his name? And Simon Pagenaud at the moment now then, as I go around this banking now then, the gap being, let's have a look. And so around, it is 1 second exactly between the pair of them at this stage. And that's that really. So if you can hear me puppy crying at the moment. And so that's that really as far as they are concerned. As now here is, as they just come around these section of corners now then on the track, as Gabby Chavez now then just going down this straight, as now he just goes down towards the start finish straight now then. Let's see the gap between him and Hinchcliffe. I wouldn't be surprised if it remained the same, but let's see, because it doesn't look like he's really gained as much as he would have wanted at the moment now then. So now just going around the corner, and it's 1.4, so in fact Hinchcliffe has actually increased the gap by a 10th now then. So that's that really as far as they are concerned. And so that's that really. Just give me a moment, guys. Sorry about that. Is now. Let's have a look then and see what's going on. So not really much has happened at the moment, apart from the fact that Alonso has actually put a lap now on Scott Dixon. And so that's that really. So now he's now going to try and see if he can chase down Gabby Chavez, who was starting to lose time, of course, to James Hinchcliffe. We're now on lap 130, well, about to start lap 135 of 200 now then. So we will have specifically 60... trying to think. 160... No, not 100. 66 laps remaining here at Talladega. So 66 laps to go for the race leader, Sebastian Bourdais, who continues to lead the way. So we're now 14 minutes away from the 5 o'clock mark. So we've been on air for an awfully long time. 2.5 hours we've been on air for. And so I do apologise it's been on for this long. Thankfully the Russian Grand Prix was on at 10 past 12 then. Otherwise, who knows how long we could have been here for. But anyway, meantime now then, look at this. Rossi is now starting to... Sorry about that, but as you can see, Rossi now right on the back of Joseph Newgarden. Thought about having a go, but not quite able to make it work. And look how close Fittipaldi is now to the back of this scrap. And as they now just go down this straight now, then Rossi trying to have a look at Joseph Newgarden now then for 7th place. And so now they're just going around at these section of corners now, then Rossi having a go. He's looking to the outside now then of Joseph Newgarden, trying to have a go, but isn't able to make the move stick now then, as they will go side by side with each other now then into the next banking. They will go side by side. Will Rossi try and get the move done now then on Joseph Newgarden? Will he get up to 7th place? And yes, he has. Up to 7th place goes Alexander Rossi in the Fantari racing car. And so he gets up into 7th place now. Newgarden, can he try and get him back now then, as he looks to the inside into the corner now then? And that's that really as far as they're concerned. Now coming down towards the next corner on the track. And will Joseph Newgarden find a way through now then on the track? And so now into the next corners then we will go, as Rossi now then on the inside. Can Rossi make the move stick now then down the inside into the first banking? Can he get the move done? And yes, he can. Up into 7th place then goes Alexander Rossi in the Fantari car then. So that's P7 for the Fantari. And so that's that really. As meantime though, but Newgarden's coming back at him now then. Newgarden gets back ahead now then. Rossi trying to see if he can try and get back ahead as well. Isn't able to do so at the moment. So that's that for them really as far as they are concerned, as they go around the banking now then on the track. And Newgarden now then unable, is still in 7th place at this stage. Sorry about that. That was a very long pause, that was, without commentary. But where are we now? We're on lap 50. Sorry, lap 157 of 200 then. Here at Talladega. So specifically, we now have 44 laps remaining here at Talladega for this man, race leader Sebastian Bourdais, who's now just coming around the final banking now then, as he will now approach. Oh, it's the start-finish straight line to start another lap, which will be lap 158 of the race. And so far there has been some battles going on, no retirements as of yet, but as you can see, Fittipaldi was in the scrap, but now it's Pagenaud and Castaneras again, fighting it out for 5th place. And as you can see, Castaneras now then, looking to the inside of Simon Pagenaud. Can he try and get the move done now then? On the Frenchman, he tries to have a go, isn't able to do so, as we will now approach the next banking on the racetrack now then, as Castaneras will try and make a move on Simon Pagenaud if he can now then. He looks to the inside, can he get the move done? Down the inside into the first banking, and no, I don't think he will, not quite. No, not quite, he won't, so he will stick behind him this time around. As now, he will go around the banking now then on the track, as we now look at Sebastian Bourdais. He's just going around the banking now then himself, and he will start another lap. Around the banking, round he goes now then, as he will start lap 159 of the race. Lap 159, so 42 laps. Yeah, 42 laps remaining here at Talladega. And God, what a long race it has been. We've already passed the 5 o'clock mark, and we're 19 minutes away from the 5:30 mark. So we would have been on there for nearly 3 hours. That is just tiring. So now, around the banking we go now then on the track, heading down the straight. As you can see, Hinchcliffe not that far back, but I think it's just a little bit too far back to challenge at the moment. As now we will approach the next corner on the track now then. James Hinchcliffe just going around these section of corners now then on the track. As meantime, we've got side-by-side action going on as Pagenaud and Castaneras try and pull a lap on Dixon. Castaneras tried to have a go at Pagenaud, didn't quite work out. But can he now, as he will now approach the final banking? Castaneras on the inside of Simon Pagenaud. Can he grab 5th for him this time by down the inside? And yes, he can. Castaneras up into 5th place, getting the move done there then. Nicely done. As Rossi will now try and attack Fittipaldi in front for what will be 7th place. As now they will head down the straight on the track now then. So now heading down that straight we go, as meantime now then Pagenaud trying to get back at Castaneras now then to continue to go side by side. Isn't able to do so as they will now approach the next banking on the track. So around the banking now then we go. Pagenaud still trying to get all the Castaneras in front. Here is Alonso now then just trying his utmost best to try and get Chavez in front. And of course James Hinchcliffe. So Chavez trying to close up onto Hinchcliffe, but obviously a few laps ago he started to fall back, so it looks like he's just possibly just settling into the race now then, and possibly just trying to see if he can grab the podium now then, as he will just come out of the banking there then, as we start lap 161 of the race now then. So 40 laps to go for race leader Sebastian Bourdais, as he will now approach the next banking on the track. And so into the corner now then we go on the racetrack. And so now around the banking we go. So now heading down the straight, as we will now approach around the corner now then we go. Bourdais still leading from Hinchcliffe. And I'm going to finish the rest of my food glass, so I'm going to mute myself for a bit. Sorry about that. That was a very long break again. I did eat food, but then I decided I needed a little break because it has been quite a long race. We've been on the air for over 3 hours. You just saw a little earlier on that Simon Pagenaud came into the pits with an electrical problem, so that's why he's now down in 15th position, so he's cost himself a chance of 5th place in this race. Meantime, we are getting to the closing stage of the race now as Bourdais is about to cross the line to start lap 192 now of 200, so 9 laps to go then for Sebastian Bourdais. And I will investigate after the race if this race is actually 200 laps and then assess whether this track should be on the calendar next season, because this has been way too long. We've been on the air for over 3 hours. That's probably the longest race in IFMC history combined, really. And, well, a bit of a joke if you ask me, but anyway, Fernando Alonso, here he is in 4th position at the moment. E-Power still yet to get a car. 2 cars to finish the race, to cross the line, basically. They've only managed so far this season to only get 1 car across the line. It always seems to variate between Alonso and Hunter Ray, but today it looks like it's going to be Alonso. He's trying to chase down Gabby Chavez in front, but it looks like Chavez has got the gap covered, and it looks like he's just going to hold on to the place for these closing stages. So he just goes around the banking now, then on the track. So just going around the banking now, then he goes. As meantime, Helio Castroneves tries to close in on Pietro Fittipaldi for 5th place, as now he just goes around the banking himself. And so now just going around the banking, and we'll have a look and see what the gap is like between him and Pietro at the moment, the 2 Brazilians. So now just going around that final corner, let's see the gap, as they will soon come across the line now then, and then we'll just have a little check. Everybody's just seemed to have started to settle down into a rhythm, it seems. I think probably all just now just trying to get to the end of the race, really, because well, it's been quite a long race, as I've pointed out. But the gap between Castroneves and Fittipaldi at this point is now, let's have a look, around the first banking, 1.7 seconds. It's 1.8 between Castroneves and Alexander Rossi at the moment. The 2 Target Andy Graham cars, just like at Texas, look like they're going to entertain each other for 8th place this time. Whether Jones will get Joseph Newgarden at the end of the race, we'll have to wait and see, as sparks come off the back of Newgarden's car. As now we go down the straight now. Then 17 cars still remain in this race. That'll probably be the biggest finish of cars this season so far. It's usually around about 11 to 15 finishes we usually get this season, but that's going to change now, as it looks like we're going to have 17 races come across the line after this. So that'll be pretty good as well. Let's see the gap then between Jones and Newgarden this time around, as they will come down the straight to start another lap. 7 laps to go for race leader Sebastian Bourdais, and now he is going to cross the line to start lap 194 now then. So let's see the gap. There's 7 laps to go, and the gap between Jones and Newgarden is now, let's have a look, through the first banking, 0.6 seconds. So that's the gap at this stage. He's got an 8.1 second cushion in front of Marco Andretti, who's currently in 10th, holding off teammate Robert Wickens at the moment. Meantime, Bourdais got up to the back of the 2 Red Rose Racing cars to put a lap on them, as he now has 6 laps to go now that he's crossed the line. Lap 195 of 200. We're now on here at the Talladega Superspeedway. So as you can see, Castroneves is still trying to get hold of Fittipaldi if he can. So he just goes around that bank now, then heading down towards the first banking on the track. And now up towards the first banking we go now then. Castroneves is still trying to put some pressure on the guy in front. And so now just going around that banking. And Castroneves now then just coming off the turn, just trying to see if he can try and chase down Pietro if he can, as Rossi is trying to close him down as well. Meantime, back to the 2 Target Andy Graham cars, who look like they're going to still be fighting it out for 8th place. Jones still not been able to get enough momentum to get hold of his teammate at the moment, as these 2 continue to scrap it out for 8th. Just going down this straight now then, for the 6th to last time. And now into the second banking we go. Jones, though, still trying to get some momentum on if he can, just to try and see if he can try and get Newgarden in the race. As now they go down the straight, as Jones now then just going around the banking now then on the track, and so now just going down the straight as he tries to find a way through on Joseph Newgarden, as he will now go around the first banking. And Jones now, then looks like he's getting a little bit closer now to Newgarden, so it looks like the two target Andy Graham cars look like they will be scrapping it out towards the end of the race now then as they go down the straight. Jones now then right in the slipstream of Joseph Newgarden, and not close enough yet. He could try and get hold of him after this second banking, but we will wait and see on that as they will go around the next banking on the track now. Then 4 laps to go for race leader Sebastian Bourdais. We're now on lap 197 of 200. 4 laps remaining for the EMR driver. As now just going around the banking as Jones tries to get up close to the back of Joseph Newgarden. He's not close enough at this instance now then, but he's getting closer and closer, and that's not really as far as they're concerned. So now that's not really as far as they are concerned, and so now Jones will try and get hold of Joseph Newgarden if he can, and so now going around the first banking now then, as now we can try and have a look at Joseph Newgarden right now then. As he goes down this straight, Jones will try and make a move on Newgarden. He's right in the slipstream now then of his own teammate. Is he going to look to the inside into the second banking? Down the inside he goes. Will Jones get the move done on teammate Newgarden? Side by side go the pair of them now then into the second banking now then on the track, and he does it. Jones up into 8th place. Newgarden trying to find a way through. Jones shuts the inside line there then, but I wouldn't be surprised if Newgarden tries to find a way back through on him now then. 3 laps to go for Sebastian Bourdais. Newgarden alongside Jones again, going down the straight now, then heading down towards the start finish straight as he retakes 8th position as a result. So there we are now then as they now come down the straight. Jones now then trying to have a go at Joseph Newgarden again. And Newgarden looks like he's just going to fend him off now then into the first banking. So he's just going to hold on to 8th at this stage now then. As now Jones will try and hang it around the outside into the banking. Side by side they go. Can Jones try and pull this one off? Like we've seen from a couple of drivers today, not able to do so. To go back into the slipstream now then of Joseph Newgarden now then to try and see if he can pull it off. He's trying to get the move done. In the slipstream he goes now then. He's going to look to the inside. Can Jones pull the move off on Newgarden? This time by into the second banking. Yes he can. Jones up into 8th position. I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to come down to a photo finish between the two target Andy Graham cars by the end of the race now then, as Newgarden now then back on the prowl of Ed Jones. He's going to try and have a look into this banking to try and see if he can grab 8th again through into here, and he does. Up into 8th again goes Joseph Newgarden in front of Ed Jones, and they're now going to approach the first banking on the track, so those two will hopefully give us some entertainment, that's for sure, as Rosenquist put a lap on teammate Montoya, but Montoya clearly trying to unlap himself at the expense of his own teammate at the moment, so quite an interesting one there, it must be said. But meantime, here is Sebastian Bourdais in the Eastlands racing cars. He's now going to cross the line now then, and Sebastian Bourdais is about to start his final lap here at Talladega Superspeedway. It has been a great race for Sebastian Bourdais. He started in 8th position, made a few places off the start, was in the battle for the lead for all of the race, and despite some pressure from the likes of Chilton, Sato and co, he has kept his cool, and if he can just keep this up, he's looking good to take his second victory of the season, his 3rd career victory. And here's an EMR's first victory on an oval as well. So a very impressive achievement. This is exactly what he needs to get himself back in the championship after the first 4 races. He didn't score any points at all, but he's definitely on a roll recently as he comes around the final banking now then for the final time today. And after a very long race indeed, at long last this race is finally coming to an end. Coming around the banking now then, heading down towards the start finish straight, and after an amazing race, it is going to be Sebastian Bourdais who wins at the Talladega Superspeedway in Lincoln, Alabama. Congratulations to him and the East Midlands Racing Team. It's his 2nd victory of the season, his 1st on an oval, and a fully deserved victory for the defending champion. James Hinchcliffe crosses the line in 2nd. Gabby Chavez picks up his 1st ever podium in IFMC IndyCar. What an achievement for him. Very good indeed. Fernando Alonso crosses the line in 4th. Pietro Fittipaldi will cross the line in 5th position. It's Helio Castroneves who crosses the line 6th. 7th will go to Alexander Rossi in the Fantari car. 8th is going to be Ed Jones. He's just going to beat his teammate to the line. So it's going to be Ed Jones who's going to finish in 8th. Joseph Newgarden will cross the line in 9th position. It's going to be 10th place for Marco Andretti in the Adrenaline car, followed by teammate Robert Wickens in the other Adrenaline car. So 10th for Andretti, be 11th for Robert Wickens, and it's going to be 12th for Max Chilton. What could have been after qualifying 3rd yesterday. Will Power disappointed in 13th position. We'll hope for more next time around if he can. And there you have it. After a very long race, it is Sebastian Bourdais who is the winner here at the Talladega Superspeedway. His first ever oval victory, and what a way to get himself possibly back in the championship scrap. So there you have it then, guys. After all of that, here is the results of a very long race here in Talladega. Sebastian Bourdais won the race with James Hinchcliffe in 2nd. It's Gary Chavez 3rd, Fernando Alonso 4th, followed by Pietro Fittipaldi 5th, Helio Castroneves 6th, Alexander Rossi 7th, with Ed Jones 8th, Joseph Newgarden 9th, Marco Andretti 10th, with Robert Wickens 11th, Max Chilton 12th, Will Power 13th, Felix Rosenqvist in 14th position. And if we scroll down the rest of the field, it is Simon Pagenaud 15th, Scott Dixon 16th, and Juan Pablo Montoya, the last of the finishes, in 17th position. The 5 retirements were Takuma Sato, Graham Rahal, J.R. Hildebrand, Ryan Hunter-Reay, and Tony Kanaan. They were the retirements here at Talladega. So let's see who set the fastest lap, who's going away with the bonus point, and it was Marco Andretti with a 48.443. So along with the points he gets for 10th, he's also going to get the bonus point for the fastest lap. He was 1/10 quicker than Simon Pagenaud in the end there. Then the race winner was 14th quickest on the road. So again, proving you don't need to be the quickest man on the track to win the race, basically. But there you have it then, guys. That has been it from a very, very long race here at the Talladega Superspeedway. I hope you've enjoyed it, even though it was very long. I do apologise that it was on for over 3 hours. I did not expect this to happen. I will investigate the race and see if it's still legit for next season. Of course, I will check if it is actually 200 laps. I'm pretty sure it was when I checked before the season started. But there you have it then, guys. That has been it. I hope you enjoyed it. We will see you then, guys, next weekend at the final new track for this season, of course. And it is another oval, this time taking place at the Chicagoland Speedway in Chicago, Illinois. So hopefully it will be an exciting race, and hopefully not as long as what Talladega has been. But there you have it then, guys. That has been it. I hope you enjoyed it. So thank you very much for watching. I've been JWF1, and I'll see you guys next weekend at the Chicagoland Speedway in Chicago, Illinois. Until then, take care.